Yeah.
Call this meeting to order. And for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any additions or deletions?
Mr. Richard Knight.
Richard Knight's, representative of Duke Energy,
Oh, okay.
they had him scheduled his last work session.
Wait a minute, is this the manual finally let me know what?
And
Is this the manual? No one else been able to answer the question?
He is
The
here,
wizard?
he is here, he's not really.
Come forward, let us know. Oh, I'm not
Yeah,
this
we're
early.
Hey,
But it's exciting.
I do need to add, I know this isn't one that we can vote on today, but I do need to add a request to use the Dallas gym in July. If it's
Dad, this today is all about.
Mhm.
I make a motion we add request to use Dallas to use Dallas, that's somebody won't use it. We don't know what we're talking. Just say. I got that.
Anything else?
We need to talk about time of meeting. That. Who lives, it's hard on us. But working 5 hours and hanging around with the bill out of town, we need to do something. They're getting home 9, 10 o'clock at night. That's the harsh thing I'm saying.
But we also have to make it.
Well, if I can, we, Jerry, I think it was last meeting, I've gotten maybe that stuff, but I think at the last meeting, we're gonna discuss that, but we decided to wait it out a little while, maybe through summer. And then discuss it then, if that's okay with you, unless you'd rather.
When you get home, 10 o'clock at night.
He's the most popular Alderman I've ever met.
Okay.
So if you're okay with it, Jerry, we'll hold off for now and then we'll discuss it if that's okay with you. We have a motion to approve the agenda with additions.
Very much to approve with the
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's one.
Short time. It is. Oops.
I'm Richard Knight, I'm with Duke Energy. And I'm the wholesale account manager that handles really western North Carolina, and there's a little bit of a guideline right in here. And a fair portion of the Duke Energy Carolinas portfolio, y'all probably know we have two utilities in the Carolinas, Duke Energy Carolinas and then Duke Energy Progress. Y'all are served in the Duke Energy Carolinas portfolio. So I'm the manager here, or we serve some nearby customers, a lot of cooperatives in this area. East Mountain, we belong to serve as of 2018. So, City, Town of Highlands, fair number of units in South Carolina, a lot of the co-ops in North and South Carolina. So I think there's some questions about the rate that y'all pay. And really to kind of back up, there's a contract and Duke Energy Carolinas, the contract's fairly standard. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission regulates what we do, dictates what we can price and how we price energy. Y'all have a contract that's very similar to the other wholesale customers at Duke Energy Carolinas. As a matter of fact, it's almost pro forma. A lot of the sections read the same way. The rate construction is the same, and we'll talk about the rates in a second without getting too deep. But so a lot of it's the same. We do bill you on your actual demand, which means the amount of energy you consume at what we call coincident peak, which is in your contract, the 1 hour, and it's the highest hour of the Duke Energy Carolina system peak. And that can occur anytime over the course of the year, in the winter or summer. Most years it does occur in the summer. There's a few years, 2018, for example, it did occur in the winter. If y'all remember that January, it was pretty cold. A lot of places. So that's really the agreement. The underlying price structure is dictated by the FERC, and it's actually based on our actual cost of production. So we have what's called it's production plant, which is all the generating part. And y'all actually get two bills from us. That's the other thing I want to clear up. You get a generation bill from us, power, and you get a transmission bill. And the FERC separated those two functions in 1997. So I don't have anything to do with that other bill. We can talk a little bit about it. But on the power side, that's the bigger of the two bills you get. And again, we bill you on your demand, which is the coincident demand, your demand at our system. That's how we determine how much of the fixed cost of the system we pay, how much you pay for generation. And then the energy that you consume on a per megawatt hour basis, we actually charge you our actual production costs. So the fuel plus the O&M related. O&M is operating and maintenance expense. We consume some chemicals in the production, particularly coal-based energy and natural gas-based energy. That spray some things in the effluent that comes out, the air that comes out, we spray some things in some of the chemicals out to meet our emissions requirements. So there's fuel and O&M. And the O&M number is a pretty small number of fuel. But that system average fuel is about 60% of what you pay us. There's no margin in that for due. It's actual cost. And the true up, I think you're talking about is for 2022. That was larger than anyone expected it to be. But we can get to that. But you pay the annual system average cost of fuel, same as every other wholesale customer pays, and the same cost to get allocated to our wholesale. I mean, to all of our wholesale customers and to our retail jurisdiction. It's the system average cost for fuel for the whole year. So just one price, you pay the same price every month, and in every hour, it's the average price that we produce energy. The other piece of it, you actually pay what's your pro rata share. So you take your load and divide it by our total system load. Our total system load is around in the 18,000 range, and your loads, and let's just call it 18. So you're 1,000 of the system, and that's the percentage of cost you pay on that demand side. And that's probably way in the details of what y'all wanted to know, but there's a lot of calculations, and we send in the annual true up. There's a big Excel file that goes through all of our accounting system, or actually our company accounting, and brings all the totals in and calculates the rate, and then builds the true up. So in January of 24, we billed you on an estimate of your actual 1CP billing demand. So the number of megawatts you're going to use from us, the rate at which that's going to cost, and it includes the cost plus the margin on that side, and then the price for the energy. So we got three values that are estimated. We'll bill you for all of 24, just like we do every other year. And then after the year ends, we actually reconcile our books, and we have to file a form at the FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, called the FERC Form 1. It's form number 1, and it's our whole accounting for our previous year production expense. And then once that's filed in April and accepted as prudent and just and prudent, then we calculate the true up based on the difference between what we billed you on the estimate and what the actual cost is. So that's what the true up is. It's the reconciliation of the billing estimates to the actual cost that we calculate after the year's over. And unfortunately, it takes us 3 months to get the document filed at the FERC, and then 60 days for it to get approved at the FERC. That's their timeline. And then, sometime in June, it gets accepted, and on the July invoice, or the June invoice, which comes out in July, that's where you see those true ups. And they go positive and negative based on the cost. And we've got a historical view of that we've supplied to the town. And we constantly, with the previous folks that were here, got that good bit of turnover recently. We stay in contact with those folks where fuel is and where the estimates are.
So what is, those generators we run, what do they do for us?
Yeah. Well, there's two categories in the contract where you get economic benefit from generator. There's more there than more easy to manage in the contract. But you get a demand credit for a subset of those generators, which means it lowers your demand, so that the credit you get for them is the amount we reduce the amount you bill in the demand charge at the CP. You don't have to run them. We give you an automatic credit for a subset of those generators. So we're paying you our system average cost for that, which is around $180,000 a kW. So you're getting, for a diesel generator, we're paying you the same price as the average price of our CTs at Mill Creek or at Lincoln County or a
That's
Catawba,
with the.
or a Catawba. So you're actually lowering the amount you pay for one subset of those units. The other set of generators, we actually give you what's called a voided cost. So instead of paying you the average cost for them, we're paying you the incremental cost of generation. That's based on another filing actually at the NCUC that we file every 2 years that determines what that cost is.
That was,
It reduces, they, both sets reduce the amount you pay to us.
So,
And it's a lot of value.
you know, the track record went from $1 million down to, we think, out $450,000.
I'm not sure what number you're talking about.
That's the way it was given to me.
So tell me if I'm wrong, so when you started off this, y'all bill us on that pretty much as high thing, we're getting lots of that.
Right.
All right. Back in the day, what he's talking about, 15 years ago, we loaded to be high. Somebody would go down there, we would cut, we predicted high, but we never met it because we ran a generator, not low. Correct, is that how we're doing it? And so when y'all in the true up, you calculated the savings. And then in July, we had paid more than what should have paid, so that's what that true up here.
It's been longer than, we had a contract change in 2008.
It's been years ago.
Prior to 2008, we were on another rate schedule called rate schedule 10. That's right. And rate schedule 10 was dated from about 1975.
Because that's what we're talking about, the numbers you've seen, there was like 1.2 million, 1.1, 987.
Well, I can do the math real quick. It's, I think you'll get 3.2 megawatts of main credit. Times $180,000. Yeah, that's,
But we don't get that unless we run the machine.
no, that's the first class of resources, you get an automatic credit. You no longer have to run them. They're there. We get actual dispatch rights to them. We call you occasionally and ask you to run them. But you don't have to run them.
Correct.
You get the demand credit automatic.
That would be useless to us now.
Yeah, so you do get the credit. So we're lowering your bill,
Correct.
the amount of capacity we're billing you for by 3.2 megawatts. And that number times 180,000, I can do that. I should know that number. I don't, because I can't remember.
576.
576,000 automatic credit.
Correct.
And then the other, well, it reduces the amount you pay us.
I understand.
And then the other resources, you get about a third of the value for those that you do for the person.
So we have 3 generators, correct? 2 generators?
We do have 3.
Okay, we have 3 generators.
Only 2 are involved in this contract.
Where's the third?
There is a third one, but if we try to put it on now, it will only benefit us $50,000. In the next contract is where that generator was to be very beneficial to us. Now let him explain it.
Well, what does it cost us a year to maintain? Per generator.
All in for the generator maintenance, my closest 50 or 60 done. I don't know, around 40-ish.
But just gas.
But I'm just talking about the maintenance part. I think the maintenance is around 30,000, and the fuel, and they can call and have the generators run for 75 hours. Am I right, Richard?
Yes.
Per generator, and we would have to pay for the fuel for that 75 hours. If we had to do that for 2 generators, that's 65 hours. So we're netting almost 4 with having the generators there.
My question is, we can listen to talk for a while, but I'm not gonna understand it. So I think running to the state, how, you may not have an answer for this, but how do we prevent from having, I'm almost getting surprised by the $450,000 again this year? How do we prevent that from happening?
Well, I think the issue was the true up in 22 that has everybody concerned, where we billed $26 for fuel and O&M in 22, and the actual rate turned out to be $36 and some change. And that's because natural gas, I don't know if y'all remember that time period. There's a lot of stuff going on in the regulatory space. Matter of fact, Duke canceled the pipeline that we were building and built, put a lot of money into it. And the EPA was stopping the other production coming out of the Marcellus Shale, which is in Pennsylvania. Because the pipeline, the Transco pipeline that runs very nearby the Kings Mountain plant at Kings Mountain Energy Center and our Mill Creek facility sit on almost on top of it. That pipeline's at capacity. There's no more transportation in natural gas. And when they canceled or they put the hold on Mount Valley, which is coming out of Pennsylvania, and the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, which Duke was building also out of Pennsylvania, gas into the Carolinas. The speculators drove the markets, and then we had the Ukraine war started. And gas went from $3 per decatherm, which is the unit, and the old folks in the room like me also remember they're called million BTU, so MMBTU, at the same term. It went to, we were buying gas for $3. We had trouble moving it, getting it delivered to plants, but it went to $33 because all the gas going into Europe got cut off by Russia. And the price went from $3 to $33 worldwide. So all of our gas never made it into the pipeline. It went to the export LNG facilities in Europe. And that drove fuel up across the board. Gasoline, if y'all remember, gas was quite high in that period. Natural gas in November through March or so was very high. Matter of fact, in that year, we spent more in fuel in January, and then December was very cold. Half of our fuel was consumed in January and December. The rest of the year was really nominal for fuel wise. But that fuel expense, we knew, after January that we had exposure there, and we watched it because we track it monthly against the annual estimate. We knew going into the summer we had some expense. Summer again was a non-event, and we didn't know that we really weren't going to get relief until December. Significantly above budget again because of just consumption and weather. So after the fact, we didn't know until really February or so to update people. But it was across the board. Again, you're billed on the same energy rate, fuel and O&M that our retail jurisdiction is and our all of our other wholesale customers. So it was just that was an unusual circumstance. And I can show, we've got some graphs that I've sent that show from the rates from 2015 to 2022. For fuel, they're all right there in that $22 range, except for 2022 and it's at 36. And the rate this year, for 23 was a little bit higher than I think it's going to be in the $26 range. The current billing rate is back down around $23.50. As a matter of fact, we just got the numbers for February because everything's a little bit delayed after the years of the market production. We were at $18.69 for February, so that's we're currently below budget. But again, summer is when we burn a lot of fuel. The air conditioning.
And I think
So the answer I think to the council is we had an unusual set of circumstances. And the averaging of the energy across the course of the year dampens a lot of that volatility out there. There was that year, it was really an exception. And we've answered a lot of questions in Raleigh and in Columbia, South Carolina about it as well. It's not just the Duke Energy Carolinas utility, it's Duke Energy Partners utility. And regionally.
Previous manager gave us a list for past 12 years. Basically showing the 60 months, I would say that we got, you know, 450,000 there. Right, so that's the way it's listed. That's the way.
That was true.
Okay. But it's listed like we got. I understand what you're saying. We're having those two generators. We're getting around $500,000.
Benefit off of what your bill would have.
We're getting credit.
Yes, sir.
Whether we run,
Yes, sir. It's automatic, it's a financial. We reduce the amount of billing demand by that.
then you call us and we run. We get another credit for every how much we run. At another rate.
You get full demand credit for one set. And there's one more set. There's another set of hours where we actually start paying for the fuel. But you're extracting all the value from the resources you have now.
If we run more than the 75 hours dispatch, then you
We
start
start paying for the fuel. And then, Mr. Condra, I'd like to address, you did get positive true ups for a while, and we tend to overestimate fuel. We don't tend to underestimate. We're a very conservative company. People don't believe that, but we've overestimated our fuel expense for a number of years. 22 again was an exception. 23, we're a little bit over, but that was still some lingering effects from 22. But the other thing, y'all have done a pretty good, the staff at the time had done a pretty good job of producing a forecast internally, and we were forecasting your load individually as well, trying to set that demand number that we were billing you at. And Doug always was on the conservative side, setting that billing demand, setting it a little bit high. And because he was always worried about the adverse weather triggering an event where it would exceed it and y'all would have to pay. So he was always erring on the conservative side, overestimating demand, not by a lot, but by 5 or 10% in that range, just as a buffer to be careful. And that continues, and some of that, dampens out the fuel volatility. Demand prices on the system have gone up a little bit year over year. Your demand has gone up. I don't know if y'all looked at demand charts. I've sent some 2018, before COVID, year over year, y'all had load growth. And like everybody else, during COVID, 19 and 20 dropped off on demand. And curiously enough, the demand dropped off during that period, but the energy didn't. People just weren't going in to offices and starting up big air conditioning systems and all that. They were at home doing. So the energy consumption kind of went up, but the demand went down. And now both are starting up again. And y'all are seeing the growth here, spilling over from Charlotte with neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood of folks. So we got that coming, but the system cost, the demand cost, which is again about a third or maybe 40% of what you pay us, it's been pretty flat. We've not added any real significant resources. It's just that energy number again, which is about 60% of the number, has got out of control in 2022.
Great information. Thank you.
You straightened me up a little bit.
And what would be the benefit of adding the third
Yeah,
generation in the next contract?
yeah, your contract runs out. Technically, it's evergreen. One of the parties have to give notice by the end of 26, or it extends for another term.
Which is 20 years.
10. We would expect y'all to probably give us notice bring us back to the negotiating table. That we fully expect that. And if there was more generation there, you see all the press, demand is going to be increasing in value over the next couple of years for a lot of reasons. So the generators will likely have increased value in the new contract if we can come to terms on, you know, the full package. And I would expect at least comparable demand to what you're getting.
Any other questions?
How much y'all going up this year? Y'all think this gets budget?
The year-over-year rate, actually, I think we're up. The billing sheet I had up earlier, I think the bill is up a little more than the estimate is up a little more than 2%, and that's mostly fuel, I think was the estimate there. The estimate for 25 actually has the total dollars you pay going down, it's the current, just by a little bit, a percent or so. What I've sent and what the future rate shows, the rate has been pretty flat, the demand again. It's just that 2022 energy, and energy, except for 2022, it's been pretty flat.
Thank you for your information. Okay.
And the staff knows how to find me if y'all have more.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mr. Knight.
All right, first up, I put everybody, PowerPoint slides. I also put a paper that we can get to, it's just something that I would like to look at in the future, but I put extra paper on there, it's called purchase power agreement. That sort of will mimic what he's talking about. But for the confusion of how Duke does go up, and constantly go up, they have this convoluted rates. We keep our base rate the same, may increase a percentage or two on our usage, but if we incorporate the PPA, it's a formula that we can figure out. And basically, we would charge that to the customer as a pass-through. So whereas now, if Duke goes up next month and their monthly bill, we're not really going up on our customers because we can't change the fee schedule, but you have this PPA factor that you'll have your regular charge, then you'll have your coal ash, and you'll have a PPA that the customer will pay for. We hold it, and then we'll turn around and pay that to Duke. It's very, very small. A lot of municipalities do this. They just change the word from purchase power agreement to something else. On average, I would say $2 to $4 a month per customer. It's nothing major. And that's something we can discuss. That's just a whole new way that we can have to help offset the cost.
You have, here you also have to. EPA $2 for January and minus $3 for February, we gotta give them $1 credit.
It would, so you can do a monthly, you can do a quarterly, or you can do a yearly rate. So we could do monthly, but then we'd have to change it every month. So yes, you would have a $2 1 month credit the next month. And essentially, hopefully it washes out.
How hard is that to do monthly on you, finance, or is that gonna be
That would be,
there's a button, you do that?
it would be an Excel format, and I possibly could change it. And the reason I'm presenting that is because we did spend 25,000 last year with a company, third party, do a rate study for electric. So this is just stuff that he's mentioning as well for us to do, but it didn't come back until May of 2023, so we didn't have time to incorporate it in the budget. But we did do a rate study last year for electric only, and he would have that formula. He already has it. I told him this would be the first step, see if we're interested, seeing what it would bring in. And then he would crunch his numbers and then give me the access to the Excel sheet where I could change it. So it's something to look forward, we look to more down the road. We want to pursue that avenue.
Is it something you want? We don't.
I think we're good. The biggest thing is we're gonna have to educate the public, educate the public up front, for when the citizen calls and says, why is there really a charge on my bill? It's not really a charge, it's a pass-through to do, because they can go up, they can go down, just like Richard just stated. So now we have that money to then pay that bill's due. It's not like we're collecting extra fees from the customer. And this also, I know Willie mentioned possibly going up on a base rate fee. If we don't go up on a base rate fee, we have to make PPA, which offsets the base rate. We don't have to vote. So there's options.
We may need to go up on that end.
Okay?
That's the reality of where we're at. But to me, as a citizen, I would be a lot more understanding of $10 deal, $10 extra for PPA that says to repay them for their increase in water bill this month. And comes to the town, we're just paying what they was charging. And on my next bill, I said, Lord, I gotta pay it. It's that, I like it going that way versus every 3 months when we now got $70 extra I gotta pay that month. Some folks are paying $70 for our hit, and the other folks it will be what's this new fee, because they haven't noticed it before. It's really something.
I think that's the thing is what really consistent. I just know myself that, a $70 hit, hard for me. And, but if there's some, whatever is most consistent, I think would be best, as long as there's an understanding of what it is.
It would, yeah, and I'll reach back out to them again. This was just something to throw out to see if we wanted to look at this. But from what he said, from the kilowatts that we bill yearly, the average $2 to $5 a month. So we wouldn't hit anything high. I know we're just talking numbers for examples, but would be $2 to $5 or something like that.
And I think with an understanding and an explanation of where that's coming from would be efficient for the citizens as well, so I like that.
We were in the same issue. Credit card. What I do is take what you talk about here.
I just think, well,
You need us to take any action right here, or bring it back?
We don't have to on that. I was just gonna get your feel for it. If you want me to proceed and see what numbers can look like,
I know you better.
I can get it back for the April budget work session. Hopefully.
Get ready to.
do we need to make a motion or anything, or just an action to do that?
All right, so that's just starting. All right, so we'll go through, preliminary budgets. Yeah, it's the wishes from the departments. And we'll see at the very end that there is a deficit. So we'll look at options, cuts, increases, what have you. So we'll start off with, employee compensation. Last I looked, it was roughly, cost of labor is up to 3.2, 3.1 right now. So I put in 4% across the board. And then we also implemented the employee evaluation there last year. If possible, we can keep that in, and that is a 0 to 3% merit increase. We'll do the evaluations in January. So a potential budgetarily, I budgeted 6%. If you want to take an average of that 0 to 3%. Not everyone's going to get a 3, not everyone's going to get a 1. So I went with 6 on that. And then employee compensation.
How does the merit?
It turned out great. So
Really good.
it was great. I will say it scared me at first with the numbers because we only budgeted, we budgeted 1.25% because we were thinking, yeah, not everybody's going to get 3s, but this is the first year, so there were a good bit of 3s and 2.5s. But since, yeah, so since this first year's already done, I think it'll be stuff out, but I think it boosted employee morale a lot. It was pretty good. All right, so the next slide, I will mention that I did not put any of these positions in the budget numbers that you're seeing. These are positions that were requested during the strategic planning meeting and the department heads. So I have 3 street department workers, 1 police officer. I will note that, on the next slide, you'll see salaries, but you gotta include another 70 to 80,000 for that police officer for all their equipment. Police chief has asked for 1 civilian employee. Bill has asked for 2 water sewer operation maintenance workers, and then I have really asking for a electrical. The media specialist, clerk. However, we titled that, I already had that in the budget, because from what I gathered last month, you guys are cool with that, put it in, so. It's not on this slide because I already had it booked. The next slide, I was gonna go through the slide real quick and then we'll do question and answers. The next one, you'll see the projected salary increases. Retirement will increase $65,000. And then if you add the new 8 new positions, it'll increase another $494,000, which brings the total to $559,000. 4% COLA increase is an increase of 202,000, which will bring it a total of 762. And then again, I budget one quarter merit increase of 87,000. So total salary changes will be $850,000. Next slide will be the department needs and requests. And this is normally any new items that are requested that isn't operational that we have to have every year. These are just new items to look at. Sort of a wish list. So in the civic building, we have replacing awnings, $2,500. Development services, economic development, have $15,000 for a new website design for the town. I just got notification last week that the UDO is not going to be completed in June. So we're going to have to carry over another $39,000 to finish that for year, I think this is year 3 budgetarily. But he promised it should be done first of the year, so we have to carry that over. And Brian, before he left, was working, him and Lindsay were working with the cloud software, which will do code enforcement, zoning, one other thing. It helps them out to get everything digitalized, so you can, fairly easy instead of people on the front end. And it's 7,500. No request in the courthouse. Police department, chief is requesting 3 new Ford Interceptors. And we also have 2 leases that will be exchanged. One is a Silverado and the other one will be a Charger. We have a $300,000 value, but we have to note that per these accounting laws that I have to do, you have $300,000 as expense, but you also have $300,000 as revenue. So those wash out, but you have to budget. The first year you get a lease vehicle, you have to budget with fair market value, full price, everything have to do it. So we do what they call as proceeds from financing and we offset that expense. But you're still gonna have your monthly payment. Also he's asking for a new world system, it's $60,000. On the fire chief is requesting part-time rate to increase to $14.50. It's an increase of $3,100. 2024 Chevrolet pickup truck, out the door truck and equipment be $62,000. Storage mezzanine over the laundry room, which is $35,000. However, Dusty, you want to speak on that part real fast? Or?
When you talk about possibly, we could.
So you just let me know that, but that good. Building is approved, we could drop that. Got 2 utility trailers for hauling empty trucks, 9,000. Barricade trailers for town events, 13,000. And I just wanted to remind everybody the new pumper that we ordered last spring is set to be here in May 2025. We're gonna have to finance that, and that'll be right now it's $162,000. So that's not in the budget, but we're not gonna have to pay for it until next year, so fiscal year 26. I just want to keep that on your radar. Street, as for a new mower, $8,500. Parks and Recreation, the ball fields, he's requesting a 70-30 infield mix for all the fields, $15,000. The gym bleachers and termite prevention is $26,000. He's requesting a new mower as well for $11,000. A new building at Carr School. We put it in there because it's just undetermined. We know that those 2 buildings that we sold are now the Aquatic Center's property, and they're going to tear those buildings down. So to store mowers, gator, things that he needs, we're going to need a building somewhere. Where we're going to put it, I have no idea because we have no land. So that's something we're going to have to figure out with this building. Alex also mentioned of having soccer in-house. This is a possibility. I'm not sure if he's confirmed yet. But if we do have it, it'd be a total of 15,500. The bulk of that cost is new sidewalks. 11,000, I believe. And also requesting playground mulch, $12,000, and that replaces all the playgrounds, in town. Get over to solid waste, got trash cans for future development, 26,000. He was asking for a rear trash load trash truck, 250,000. Water sewer, we just found out late last week that the generator for the pump station is not gonna be here on time, correct?
Like 3 years, July.
So we have to carry 184,000 over for that. Water treatment plant, have a backup river pump, 16,900. Chemtrack LC 85s of 18,250 and C117s of 22,140. If you have any direct questions on those two, I would say Zach or Bill, because I have no idea what those things are. And a building for storage, they're running out of room, and the treatment plant, we need to store some items in there, so 7,000 budgeted for that. Wastewater treatment plant, we have a screw press for 290,000. Went to electric, Willie's asking for transformer arresters, 200 of them, which is the squirrel guards, right? $30,000. 35 underground transformers for 203. Some underground primary rails of 120,000. Plant truck replacement of 300,000. Mapping and pole inventory of 150. A spare generator of 450,000. And some ox block rigging kit for 20,000. So again, that's the big ticket items that is in this budget. That the department needs, and I can't speak for the department, only as a town as a whole, so I told them all, be ready for questions from you guys. So go on to the next page. Property tax reval. So I know we had that revaluation last year. Some properties increased by half, or some of them increased by double, some was a quarter. Overall, though, our evaluation didn't change that much. If you look, our base evaluation was 501. We always evaluate taxes because you have appeals and you have your uncollectibles. Uncollectibles are usually around 2.5% to 3%. So based off the county's numbers, our expected valuation is 481. And if you times that by our tax rates, we're looking at $2.022 million for property tax. And so the reevaluation is only bringing $477,000 from last year to this year. So not as much as we wanted, but $500,000. So it's better than nothing. And then at the bottom, you'll see I did do a projection just for you guys to be aware. 1 cent increase on property tax will bring it up to $48,000. Next slide, I have revenue projections. Some of these are included in the budget, some of them are not, because it would be, we need guidance from you guys as to wishes. I'm budgeting 375,000 for interest income. And that's a 2.118 for property taxes. I put just a little, 2 or 3 more % in there. Just for the unexpected, because right now I can only see through March. So 3 more months, so I'll put another roughly 30,000 in there as possibility to come in. Get the SRO revenue of 47,600. And these last 4 items are not in the budget, but it is projections if you wanted to increase anything. The first one is the late fee service charge. Currently, right now, we pay $6 fee after the 15th, $30 fee after the 24th we cut off, so a total of $36. I mentioned it last year, and I know, sort of kicking the citizens while they're down. But from our standpoint, it's the exact, it's the same number of people in the year and the month. And it's just an option. If we wanted to raise any revenues, extra revenues that can come in. I know Gastonia, I think it's $50 cutoff fee right now. So even with both of those fees, it would still be $1 under them.
Is that off into late fee service?
Yeah, the cutoff fee is $30. So I'm asking to go to $9 for the late fee and $40 for the service charge. Bill is requesting a $2 can increase in sanitation, which that will bring in roughly 57,000. And in the long-term goal, we would love to get sanitation out of general fund and make it its own enterprise fund. But to do that, we need, the can rate will have to be at like $23, $24. And I know that's unrealistic, so. But the plan is to increase it $2 for the next 2 or 3 years, and then we would be around the $20, $22 mark in hopes that possibly we could pull it out of general fund and have its own fund, operating fund. There's a water and sewer rate increase of 5%. That would bring in roughly 160,000. This correlates to the discussion we had last month with House Shoals with that fee structure. And this would mimic the same 5% each year for the next 4 years. Then 3% electric increase would bring in roughly $215,000. All right, go to the next one. Me and Maria put this next slide in. We put this slide in last year as well, but it's just to bring you guys, make you aware that we had an AIA grant last year for the outside party engineering firm. They done what they was going to do. They came back with needs that the town needs to do, and so I was just going to let you guys see this again as well. In water treatment, we have a discharge sand filter rehab of 100,000. Cost of bulk tank 50, and a possible treatment plant expansion of 7 million. Water distribution, replace water lines, West Trade, Downey Lake Road, and Briarwood Drive. And then the wastewater treatment, Dallas Stella Pump Station, which we're almost completed with. So the total $12 million, again, just needs that outside engineering firm said that the town needs to pursue. And I know we mentioned, we're working on grants to cover some of these items, so hopefully that's a possibility. And at the very bottom, you'll see that the plan for annual water sewer increases will be critical for continued maintenance and expansion. Next slide, this is grant projects. These are current and awarded projects only. We have the AIA wastewater that we're currently working on. It's a $150,000 grant. We have the EEG stream bank for 110. The AIA lead service line is a $200,000 grant. That was in the process and has been awarded. The DC fast charging for 45,000. That's been awarded and we're waiting on final numbers. Stormwater assessment, 400,000. That is in the process. And then I put the water sewer state appropriation of $2 million that we were awarded, that we talked about last month. And put these on this slide just to show you that normally in years past, we've always had the grants intertwined with the budgets. But I'm pulling those out and I'm going to put those in a grant budget fund. It's so much cleaner. It's not in your everyday operations budget. It's there. So these numbers are not included in the budget. They're just ongoing projects that we're going to be able to, that we're doing, but I'm just doing them to different funds. If that makes sense. Next slide is the current debt that the town has. Fire station, and these are payoff balances, what we still own. Fire station, 136,000. We have till April of 2033. Fire pumper truck, 165,000. and that's paid off July 2028. Sanitation truck, 76,000, pay off next October, 2025. Water and sewer fund, water line project, 2.1 million. And it runs until June 2033. And the electric truck, electric, we got a bucket truck for 67,000, paid off in October 2025. Last time we done the finance, we financed that sanitation truck and that bucket truck at the same time. That's why their payoff is the same year. Here is the preliminary budget. As you can see, we have general fund expenses of 6.7 million. And the revenues projected are 5.8. So we have a deficit of 884,000 in general fund. And I did put on the, right beside the expenditures, I have 10%. So this is a 10% increase in expenditure from last year. Water sewer, we have a 4.5 million expenditure and 3.9 is revenues. That'd be a 5% increase from current year. Electric operations, $11.5 million as expense and 9.7 is revenue. This is a 21% increase. Stormwater is balanced. So we have a total deficit of $3.2 million. Again, to reiterate this, 8 positions are not in this number, at $3.2 million. So you'd have to add the 494, I think it was, to that 3.2. And the last slide that I have is just fund balance histories. It's what's for to non-accountants. I did it. And basically just, if you look at the very bottom, under 2023, the general fund, the 2.4 million, water 2.9, electric at 4, and stormwater at 500,000. That is what we currently have unspent. And you also saw that in January when we gave that report to you guys. So that's the unspent fund balances that we have right now. So I just wanted to show you guys that what we have in unspent, roughly $10 million. So with that, we can open the discussion. I also brought the fee schedule. I know we sent that out in the packet. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it over the weekend, but we can go through the fees. And then hopefully get some feedback.
I don't know what the present rate
What?
is. The fee schedule. It's full enough for that. All of them. For current rate.
If we're bringing in more money?
Are we increasing the fee?
No, this, other than the ones that I mentioned, trash can, the late fee that I mentioned, service fee, water, sewer, electric, all the others are just standard fees. I just gave it to you guys to look at. Yeah, just to see if you saw anything, that you, or not the increase.
I didn't. Question. You have a second.
Yeah, I got a lot of steps over there, so if I gotta go grab it, I'll give you. Go ahead.
Under Parks and Rec. Did not see anything. Did not see anything, got the ball. Things going on in the gym. I have nothing there that was direct to any sort of improvements or maintenance at Jack's Park. And I know this is something that they've been discussed all the time. Along with improvements in both the parks, Jaggers and Climber. You know, which one main thing I know that we
talking about years and years, keeps getting pushed, and I think we need to act on it. And that's the need for permanent restrooms at both these facilities. And also notice that under grants, that there are no grants at all out there for Parks and Rec. You know, especially for us being a rolling
I'm sure there was a slew out there, especially with all this ARPA money that was given to the state. They have it and they're just ready to give it away for the most part. But specific grants for Parks and Rec, I'm not sure, but I know there's probably, I'm almost certain there's some.
Well, I agree with that. Reverend Milton, staff heard comments from the board back in February, I believe, about the improvements to Jagger and Clocker Parks, especially really focusing in on the permanent restroom facilities. Mr. Wallace, our recreation director, he and I have already started researching those. We got a study, or the town got a study maybe a year ago, where they were talking about 4 stall facilities being $400,000. Well, that's a little outrageous for any town, even though the cost of skyrocket, see in the budget. But Mr. Wallace has gotten in touch with a provider, and hopefully it's not included in this budget, but once those numbers come in, if the council so desires, we can do a budget amendment to make those improvements. So it is on our radar.
I can comment on that. As Mr. Blackburn just alluded to about the increasing cost in a permanent structure, something that I've looked at and I'm just waiting on an estimate from the company is a prefabricated structure, which is something that can be put on a concrete slab instead of just the porta-john. So it is in talks. It's not presented in this budget because I haven't got what it would cost. But it hasn't been in discussion with him and myself about something more than what we have now, but also it's not as expensive as $400,000.
And something that is aesthetically pleasing to the eye, as opposed to just work site porta-john.
If something like that would come through, these people looking for, and that be presented as an ad.
Yes, sir.
The budget for this year. Okay, and Mr. Wallace and myself, we had a discussion prior to the meeting, concerning improvements to Jackson Park, because it is a city park, it's in town. I know he understands. It's a gem in the rough. Definitely, I don't think I'm the only one sitting on this board. But I want to see something behind the door. So that,
And I think not only, if I can piggyback on that, Alex, I think not only making those improvements, but maybe incorporating those through some practices or something.
Yeah, we actually spoke about that.
Are y'all using those buildings still like the hospital that posted on the watching on our house?
Yes, sir.
Still is.
speaking
I'm
of,
touching that. That might be forever for the building.
speaking of which, I know this might be called, because I was going to ask at some point, what's going on with that?
And if we need to build a building at that point, we'll figure it out. Like I said, there's no land either.
Well, I've heard a rumor that it could be coming back, but they have a rumor that they are going to redesign it and move it further down. That's true. Just heard it as a rumor. So I don't know.
Well, now that we're talking about it, the redesign is not what I have heard, but I have heard that there may be a redesign when it comes to how we enter and exit. And the owners want to discuss, I didn't think today was a good time, but they want to discuss putting a road behind Gaston fence.
We'd be happy for them to do that.
Well,
We would be happy for them.
right, and so that's why I think that right now.
They have to be part of the budget. Put it there and no one didn't have adequate roads. They did that about planning and then come back and almost.
We don't know about one anyway, we could build the road. I'd let them do it. That is normal, because I'm not sold on what to.
Town doesn't build roads, we maintain it.
Correct, yeah, so we would do the maintenance on the road.
Not big.
If they dedicate it to the town.
I will.
Correct, so there's a lot of conversation. I think that needs to be had with that, and I just didn't, again, today, I think.
That's why.
That's another thing. I knew about that. I knew
I
about.
think you need to build, but see, it's like use it. Then, I don't think that's. No.
Did they tell you that it was gonna be, they would give you a heads up?
Yeah,
Told you they were both coming.
yeah, they're both coming down, but we're gonna have, taking a heads up. This is my word was they're gonna come in there and just knock them down and then everything else in there, but she stated that she would give Craig a heads up before they.
And another thing, if we're gonna move, if we're gonna do any kind of redesign, we're gonna negotiate something. Yeah, backup thing. We're not negotiating something with them to keep the lease first block building where everything goes.
And they may do that, but if that's what we want, then I'm willing to talk to them about it as well.
Was that a project under a special use permit? How was it resolved?
Yeah.
Used by Ryan, special use. Do you remember, Lindsay? Because if it's a special use, that's a significant change, or as the law says, substantial change. Then you go back to the drawing table, and renegotiate ground zero.
The entrance and shipping building, I suppose.
I would think so too.
Maybe.
I actually got a call today from gas employees inquiring about that lake. And they still don't have a load sheet yet, but I did get a call today, around lunchtime, wasn't it? And what was it we found out?
Willie called to but in the budget for infrastructure, it's gonna have to supply it, and, the number mentioned was $150,000. I actually grabbed the contract off out of Maria's office a few weeks back, and I looked, and in the contract it says that, we sell the land for, 124.9, and then we turn around and use that as economic development. So in my theory, it may be 150, but we cap it at 124.9, so that's what the agreement says. So
That's it, water, sewer,
it's water, sewer, and electric.
just electric. Water. You price, you take the water and sewer bill.
The value of it. They're gonna have a force main, and they're gonna have to enforce it to our sewer. There is no gravity sewer. It'll have to come all the way to Carson. So. Water runs right straight through the top. How much is it supposed to? For that, you're looking at maximum $120,000 end to end, just for that. 150 for what? 150. About water. It would be a commercial tap, $8,000 to $10,000, and then we'd have to. So we just make a tap to the right. But that's a 2-inch tap, at least a 2-inch tap. And, with the system development fees and all, you're looking at $20,000.
And your point said about the building that's right there with the transformer. So far, they are agreeable with leaving that transformer and all the controls for the lights as is. But I don't think that to be. They've been agreeable with that. And that building is out of the curve. It's behind the curve outside of the park. So that may be possible.
And the reason they want to do the road is simply to help the town of Dallas as well with the traffic that we already have coming in and out of people's there, so create less congestion here, it can really be beneficial on the back. So. Maybe,
All right. Mr. Bell, does that answer most of your question? Yeah. Like I said, we do have, Alex is budgeting some more stuff, I'm sure, so we're getting mulch put in. Of course, the contract for the grass cut. That did spark a question that Ben mentioned about these restrooms. I did fail to put it on this, budget request sheet. It slipped my mind, but in electric and water, there is, don't hold me to it, there's 30,000 or 50,000 budgeted to start architect fee for warehouse. So that is in there, I just forgot to put it on the main part of the sheet. So that'll be the first phase, architect, doing what we call the CMAR bidding to find the architect.
I do have something. Coming back to Parks and Rec, don't pull a tag out. But maybe having a software program for, and I'm sure that he's already been working on it, but a software program for registration, for online registration. And I have heard from some people that they did not sign up with the town of Dallas because they could not sign up online.
That is actually currently in the budget, and those are one of those that we've just been in there for 3 years and it's cool. So it's in there. I just didn't put it on this department need. Not everything is on this department need requested. It's usually the bigger ticket item things that you guys need to say, all right, be aware that these are coming if you approve it or you deny it. But yes, that software, 11,000, I think, 7,800.
Software,
Yeah.
it's about, 4,800. And then there's 1,200 GIS for the in-town.
That is it, and I agree 100%. It's needed. We're behind the eight ball on that. With people still coming in and the forms, just do it, do it online. Themselves. Yeah, the biggest thing is, so I guess we need to know is the new positions.
We're still.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know, I'm waiting. But the things that I just need to know is the 8 positions and, $3 million deficit. We need to raise rates.
where's the new clerk?
We got budget, no assistant manager, because I wasn't sure about it, but I can put it in. The clerk, it's already in the figures of the number. Because last month when we discussed it, I got the feeling that you guys were good for it, so I went ahead and put it in there. It's not, I didn't include it on that because the 8 positions was to be discussed.
We're still.
But I will add that to,
We need to see that.
okay.
All I heard all summer, you didn't have a leave back. Wait till that before you leave back.
I got one this year. No, we're out there running that lead back in now. It's out there today.
Playing for leave.
We got a brand new one, February,
In January, February, something.
January, February, and it's been busy. It's been busy.
Just one thing I can tell to me.
Well, I still have an old truck that's got a leak back. I have two.
That work.
Sir, it's working today.
Does it work regularly? I'm gonna have to treat you like a finger. Does it work every day?
Not always, no, sir.
How many days is it down to you?
During late season, it's probably down.
You don't think you even know?
I would gladly take another one.
How much is the lead?
120,000. That's when you pull behind the trailer.
The cheaper alternative? On the back.
I'd have to look into that, but, pull behind trailers is about the cheapest thing. Blows up into the trailer.
The truck was carrying the one.
Actually, it's a 1980 something model.
And the other.
No, it just does leaves, you know. When leaves are done, we park it till next year. We take it out, get it serviced, make sure. I believe.
Ball fields, you guys doing the car is 70-30. Well, the jackets too, right?
Yes.
But we're doing that, we're doing all the car and jackets. This. Keep doing that. So. It is 26,000 termite prevention. The company already approved it. It's going to cost $26,000 a year.
No, that's total. The gym bleachers came back at roughly 20,000. I don't remember us approving to proceed, but if so, I'll get that going.
Maybe I'm wrong, I thought we said that was.
I really.
We're talking about it.
I thought we'd already done some termites, so. I don't remember about that.
They did. This company, so what this 26 is roughly 20,000 was the gym bleachers. And that, from what he said, is he's gonna have to go up under and go section for section, just his house. Turn them together, replace that, take the wall, repaint it, rebuild all that. Termite prevention is Orkin. Orkin coming in, putting new traps as well as doing a vapor barrier and fungal treatment. That's what that is, roughly $4,500. That's what, those two together makes up the. It's, right under the gym, exposed dirt, of course, he's gonna put vapor barrier down, and then under all the nutrients, we're gonna do fungal treatment.
Can we wait till next year to do the budget or we use it?
We hope to use it in October.
Yeah, go on to that meeting. I don't see the videos. I mean, I'm just asking, I'm
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah, I'm ready to do bleachers.
And you have somebody.
Wow.
Yeah, they need to get done. I mean, when I went up there and looked at it, you have 2 or 3 adults at the very top, bleacher.
I think that needs to be already approved, like it just last summer.
Thanks.
But we need to bring it up and bring it to the next.
I can go ahead and bring a budget amendment next month if you want me to, that way have it ready. Approve it, budget amendment done, we can roll it.
Yeah. we do it.
Play, needs in-house problem.
Again, he's thinking I think he's thinking indoor.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking in-house meaning that we facilitate the lead.
Hey.
I think they're gonna play something like that, Jim.
And that, cause we pay gas only right now.
Do we charge people for trash cans?
Yes.
And the rear load of the trash truck, taking our trash truck before I.
We have 2 very old ones. And yes,
All right,
yes. I'm spending $60,000 to $70,000 a year on maintenance on those 2 trucks.
I was the youngest truck. How many years?
2007, and one is a 2009, and the other one, the one arm truck is 10 years old, so it's a 2014. We're making our last payment on it this year. Correct.
Keep explaining how many questions criteria for replacing bid.
So that is demolished,
You don't have a certain mileage number.
We don't have a certain miles number, I guess, and all that, still in the vehicle, all in place.
Do you get 5 years old?
If approved,
32,
Approved, two of those will be turning, we'll trade back in, this is the lease you want. And place for the lease.
trade the 2 leases, you get 2 more back for that? Or is that for you, the 3 card?
Yes, we would need two back for those, because that's too short. We didn't get two, requests.
So that's 5 cars.
5 cars, or you do have the option to not trade those two and just pay a spot.
Or
But one's a Charger, and I know that's another.
One of 219, one's a patrol vehicle, charter, the other one's my,
explain to everybody what you want to do.
So the new world system is record management system, and since we're on the dispatch, gas and chemical communications. So what happens now is anytime we take a report, anytime we do a leg, anytime we have interaction with citizens, we're going after a software company called Southern Software. That's all stored locally in-house on our server by itself, so you can't, another agency can't get access to that system, so with email and comments. It's kind of, you're on your own server with that. With New World, we would be attached to county's communications, so anything we generate, we can see by anyone else on that same system. And they also, part of that, their IT, but actually, if you're on their New World system, the services all your IT needs, because you're on their system, you're on their, maintenance they do, the recording is done through them, so it's all patched in together. It's definitely going to be needed as we grow, and as technology advances, we're definitely going to be a serious growth.
Hey, so you're back to the vehicle. Your truck's in good shape. Sorry. What the, how long can at least be able to be working with? You want in good shape? It's
I
bad.
would, I would stay away from the Chargers, just from. Well, we've had
But like
some-
it's truck.
like his truck, I actually have a meeting with Enterprise next month to go over the new purchases and things like that. And I can't remember the ballpark that she said that we would have to pay for that vehicle. Whatever the lease, the last fair market is, we'll call it 5,000, and then it's ours.
Yeah.
So, it's an option.
I know it's in good shape.
Yeah.
Whether it be your,
I don't know how the feeling is on experience. Definitely, it's not very expensive. We have not purchased that.
I think you need to purchase that vehicle, that truck. You say you meet with Enterprise next week? Or who you say you're meeting with?
Enterprise, yeah, it's actually, I think about the second week of April. So. And I'll have definite numbers. She'll be able to tell me exactly what it is.
Going to the news is, but if you're also better, maybe communicate throughout the county.
Yes, sir. We're having a whole lot of software.
How much is your monthly or yearly maintenance?
I'm paying for that 73 month. It runs me about $6,000 for the service software. So there is a project $6,000.
That is per year.
It's going to be about 50 to 60 per year. That's the contract then and all other items. You're basically getting what items services. Any computer related issues.
You'll get a volunteer fireman in $1 raise. That's almost $3,000. If they only run the number of calls.
So that's what fault time, the best fault timers for our volunteers. Depending on what they're starting.
Now, this guy here, I can't remember who maybe said, this is the ones that are there from 8 to 5 Monday through Sunday. That we pay, he wants to go up from 13.50 to 14.
That we pay these living,
No,
the red living, paying rent,
or the what?
paying rent. What value are they? So you require them to answer calls?
Yes.
I don't want to make questions. So they're not sending off, but we're getting something from. Why do you need to serial pickup?
Replace it for it's what, 20 years old now?
The Trailblazer is in 2005 or 6, I believe. Yeah.
I got another question. Can we take the other, police vehicle that we will trade in and turn it into a private vehicle? Cheap.
It'll be a Charger if they're okay with that.
What year charge?
But still working Chargers, but then that wouldn't be.
Like these deals. The Charger has a lot of issues with brakes. And plus, as they get older, the engine starts to create a lot of issues.
Down to 6.
Oh,
There's a long,
there's 6 numbers.
It's hard, but I'm just saying, maybe
They're going fast, stopping hard and all that too. Are you not?
So is that pickup truck a start item or?
Well, I ain't started it.
bills up. Street department position.
Must need more, like this doing, or is-
I mean.
Barricade trailer, I thought we approved the five trailer.
did we approve divide trailer, or were we talking about, this is where I got confused, was with the, I'm gonna call it, I'm sorry.
So I think
It was mentioned.
Okay, let me go back. So I thought what was discussed was either a barricade trailer that I was under the impression we were going ahead to get with the barricade in it, or were we going to put a shed, I call it a shed, or a building behind the fire station and put the barricades in it?
The final discussion was, we were going to buy, we're trying to buy the supplies if each department that was using it, they found the money in this current budget purchase.
Okay,
If I remember correctly.
All right, and has anybody done that?
We will start tomorrow searching all three departments to find the,
$13,000.
between all three of us,
How
and
much?
we're looking at $4,000 apiece.
$13,000.
There's your start.
Thank you, sir.
What are you gonna pull the utility through the empty trucks?
That's the part of the reason for the pickup truck, was to be able to pull the antique trucks as well as the barricade trailer.
Oh, is this a 3,500, 2,200?
And the measuring trailer, they suggested 35.
I didn't, these are 3,500. The, when you carry over something, we're not at, it's not at, but
If you carry something over for a current.
that was standing station carry. That is, need money, so the money's already there.
You know, because come June, that money goes back in savings, that comes back out. So, yes and no?
So it's average. Still in the same line, right? So it's gonna be there. We're not gonna have to tax anybody, pay the money's there.
I have something that I want to take out. I want to take out a new website. And this is, I don't know if that needs an explanation.
If it does, I think we mentioned it only because we know we have this clerk slash special
Yeah.
media person coming, so,
Right, so as far as a new website design, I think that's goes into their job description, and it kind of goes with their salary as well. So I don't think we need to spend, excuse me, $15,000 on website. So. Thoughts?
well, that person is not gonna be able to create a website. It's gonna sort of like, you have to put money into it, so you're right, Zach, you have to buy. This 15 is to find somebody to do it.
I mean, you have to buy a domain of some sort. In my
That
mind,
should be already,
what'd you say?
the name's already purchased.
So we already have that. So as far as website design, when it comes to $15,000, when I see that, I think of the town paying someone else to go in and design. And I just don't, personally, I don't think it's worth that. If we already have the domain, and creating websites.
Sure, while that covers, like the one we have now, you have a service that's keeping that site. They're doing all of it.
Right.
We just had company.
That makes sense, but it's still, I think we could find something else that maybe yearly would cost like $300 to $500.
You got somebody that can actually do the coding and everything else, you can do a lot.
Right, and so I would rather just take that out and then we gotta look at a different option.
Is everybody cool with that?
Yeah, if everybody's okay with that. Alan? Are you okay with taking out the website?
Are you sure we own the domain?
Yes.
If you know,
We actually we just requested to get the .gov thing for
we just started.
Okay.
So the UDOs are carry over.
Yeah, UDOs we have to get it done, we have to put it. When I talked to him last week, I pretty much told him I'm not carrying any funds over. Just to see what he would say, but fortunately, they cannot get it done in time, so we have to carry that 39.
Why?
We're already in contract with Code, and they have to finish the projects, and I don't know who's holding him to the fire. I never heard him to communicate with them, so I'm sure they're pressing it. But I don't think there was actually.
Contract.
It did, because it was actually supposed to be, sent to you guys, I think in the fall this last year. But where we're at with it, legalities on it, I wasn't involved, so I have no.
Okay, so now we're down to $3,258,000.
Cool. What is this cloud?
That's the zoning and code enforcement software to, same thing as recreation, to streamline it, to do it online. And that was a request from prior development service stream. You had two quotes, one quote was 65,000, this one was 7,000. So I went with the lesser.
You know about that?
Yes, sir.
Well, if she got hired or she did that hired before today, I think they made that up to. Let her hear it comes in at 5. The new world system, is we ready to get very enough for that? That's a real problem.
Monitor, if there's some question mark or a cloud, we'll go out on a limb. We've got several subdivisions that will come online in the next couple of years that will increase the tax base. Could you spread that tax base over police, fire, all the others generally don't generate revenue. That being said, if the chief's okay with it, wait another year.
Fire service is on New World, right?
No, sir.
EMS on New World,
Oh, you see, yes, sir.
oh, y'all on New World? Fire service.
RC reporting, this is the fireworks. July 1, sir.
That's not a county.
No, it's not supported by the county. Majority of the fireworks in the county is used. Estonia.
Instead of New World.
Correct. Does it start from July, everybody will be able to.
Fire service in Gaston County,
It's gonna be right around that. We'll do, fireworks for everyone.
Yeah. Question. It's like the New World system. He hasn't had it. We take $6,000 off of it. We like to say every year, 2,000. That ain't it, though. That's the recurring cost.
I would look for grants, to get us started. If they find, if we can find any grants that will pay the first year. I'm sure there's a grant out there that will. If not, offset some of the cost.
Chief, can you check, to see if there's any grants out there, especially with this addition, to start out with 60,000?
I will take a 10-minute recess.
That's got 3 on it.
Figure that out. If that's okay. Do I need to make a motion? All right, 10-minute recess. All right, let's finish this.
Continue.
Yeah.
So, with me, Mary asked me, when was the last time we bought?
Earl is the recent, not a pickup truck, but it's Tahoe, it's leased as well, and that was probably 2 years ago. Prior to that, it might have been that Trailblazer. It might have been the Trailblazer. That would have been, it might have been the last purchase. I know they have that, yeah, they have that mid-size truck. I don't know the year on it. See it out when you tell them.
Can the Chevrolet truck be done as a lease, but you still have to count the 60,000?
Yes, I'd have to count, yeah, it would drop the entire department down, but I would have to budget 60,000 on both sides, revenue and expense, and then budget the lease payment. Call it $9,000. But it could be done as a lease, yes.
That's saving money, correct?
Yeah.
Upfront money, not back.
Really? Or you have a possibility of,
Let's shift gears. Yeah, Chief, go ahead.
So if I can ask, how do you go on right on that on the slide run? As far as the new world goes, just so you all know, I can survive another year on the system of company. Would I like the new world system? Sure, but the system I've got is operational. Eventually, we're going to need a little transition, but that needs to be good at this time. I have no problem. Right now, as an issue is operating system we have, we're working with Zach on things that might help us. It's got some bumps in the road, which we'll try something different, a tracking system. So if we need to just put that on hold this time around.
If you're happy with that, and we push it maybe to next year,
It's just maybe next year.
everyone's okay with that, we'll scratch it. Chief?
But I'll strike it. So, but we've already cut out one car a year. Right? It's still bad. So we're not gonna have 2 lease vehicles, we'll have 1 lease vehicle for purchases where you set $5,000.
so then,
Think about it.
yeah, so 4 vehicles, so 3 interceptors and 1 exchange.
So, the owning and direction squad, if we're having a lot of people come down there, we need their best foot forward, so that's necessary.
Okay,
Willie,
so we're starting.
keep that, keep it all, because people go there.
Starting good.
Sorry. Not mine. Willie, you got to tell us about all this electric stuff, we don't understand it. Except the squirrel protector.
Started phase 1 on that, you got to start right then. What's the next? I don't have that.
You for 35 and
Underground, that. Okay, you got 35 stop there?
Now, we're trying to get to that number where we have 15 on hand. And the blessing of it is, when the developers, when we install, we've invoiced the developer, they're paying us back for it. We try to front. Question, I have one question about Gastonia declared a state of emergency. Because of slight supply chain issues. Have any of y'all heard about that?
I read the article.
My understanding understand of is the lead time and transfer. There's 40 to 50 weeks to get. I'm trying to be proactive and have them get the orders placed, and I can't place the order if I can't get the PO. And that's why I'm trying to be proactive to get the clock started, to get a period of weeks testing the things. Same thing with underground private. It's a 40-week lead time on it. Gastonia ordered 200 transformers a year and a half ago, and they called and checked the status, and they said, "Thank you for your order, but we don't know when you're going to get it." That's the
So you want to, you don't know who spend this $203.
No,
Can't
those,
use it.
those are gonna be ordered with y'all's blessing, those will be ordered at the beginning of next budget. I can't place an order and start the clock.
But if you order it in next budget, you don't know when you'll get it, right?
Right now, it's been running 40 to 50 weeks for us. We're buying remanufactured transformers from Solomon, cause a little over 2.5 years ago, I was told new transformers are out of the picture. They wouldn't quote them, and they wouldn't give a delivery. So the route we've been going is getting remanufactured transformers, and they've been meeting our needs.
Why do you need 35?
Little Long Creek's 500 watts. That's gonna be, 60 some odd transformers. We're gonna do it in phases,
I mean, you got something in it.
15.
Another thing we're gonna be using for maintenance. We've had time for the last 2 months.
I have a confirmation question.
Little Long Creek, Summit Creek, and possibly Dallas Fest.
Those three charts.
Yes, those numbers are in there, it's got offset revenue, I need that to be able to start the clock to get it over, that's,
So I think what I was gonna ask is what you guys are talking about is that we're spending this up front, but the developers are gonna pay us back for it in the end game.
that's what the extension policy is.
Okay.
And with that too, not on this sheet, but there is $1.2 million in electric that budget expense, budget revenue, and those are for, I have it somewhere, but that's for River Rock, Little Long Creek, Summit Creek, NCDOT, down Stanley Highway. Those are just offset numbers. So it's not really an expense, but to Haley's question, the kicker with that is we order it, we get it, and end of June, we pay it out of our budget. We budget that revenue that the customer's gonna pay, well, they don't pay it because of the way that it falls, and they have to carry everything. And they're constantly appropriating fund balance, pulling it in, putting it in savings, pulling out of savings, unless it lines up perfectly. But they do have to get ordered, and they take like a year to do. So.
That's just trying to get the clock, to make the customer things, what that is.
And the reels, and the power line,
It's underground primary wire, and those, that went from $8,000 to real $15,000 real last year.
the bucket truck replacement, then wait a year.
We got hung up one time, with that electrical issues, we got hung up in there and had to get them.
13 years old,
I mean, miles.
30-something thousand miles.
37,000.
That's
How
probably,
many times is it pulled up somebody?
the problem, just go by hours, but go by miles.
Okay, how many hours you got on it?
It's probably pushing 20-something thousand miles.
How many times is the truck not work right?
This past year, it's been 4 times already.
What, let somebody, spare generator, what do you need that for?
it was on the budget as spare generator. That is the third generator that I was talking about earlier. That's the one that was purchased from Kings Mountain. With it.
He's down on Park Road.
Correct. Two are in operation. One has never been in operation. Transformer and generator was purchased at the same time from Kings Mountain. Kings Mountain wanted the transformer back fixed, so we're $25,000 with a $2 million transformer. But it's gonna take $450 to get it going. We don't need that in this, but.
So I'm taking that spare generator out.
$450, we can take. $450, the generator can come out easy. I wanted that one to be on y'all's radar for an expense that's coming.
Something else that we need to bring up, street, if you look to the left side, street and Parks and Rec both have a mower. One's 85, one's 11. Let's, pick one. So.
It just.
Yeah, I mean, let's go with 85.
Mine's got a shorter deck on it because we don't need longer decks.
I see.
And I guess mine's a little, they're both the same type, but they're like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 series.
Can we share?
Absolutely. But you need us. I wouldn't,
I'm sharing.
if you buy a smaller deck, that means you're gonna be going up and down the ball for that meeting.
If I may, currently, we only have in regulation one operating mode. The other mode we have is engine needs to be replaced. The hydraulics need to be replaced, which if you add up the cost of fixing that, because currently right now, we're using public works as our second motor. So I guess the price, I don't know, I got the same quote from the guy from Harvard Farm Service like you did. You know, this one is more, it's got a little bit higher power before the motor goes, and it's got a bigger deck, because we're mowing more wide open space than public works is. And so, you know, we've got, I don't know how many thousands of square feet, with 4 ball fields and surrounding areas that we have to cover.
Does the school, both our schools, both this?
So, no, they do not, we're responsible.
How many ball schools do you have?
We have 4. But we have Congress that we're responsible to maintain.
Guys,
Plus, we have all those surrounding areas, like the ball fields as well.
Exactly.
No, we don't, Curtis Wilson.
this may sound silly. Is there an adapter to change the decks? There's gotta be.
There is if you buy a certain longboard, you can get one in a day, but it won't.
There's
be
no
right.
problem. Okay,
I think that, you can change decks, that's no trouble.
Okay.
But it's not something you can do easily. You get hit with the mower, I'll take them back to the body that I was in.
love to hear that. Thanks. All
Yeah,
right,
but I would put in the new. That is, had your leaf blower all this past winter. Does anybody else on this board get any calls about leaks not being picked up? Billy, did you?
I get lots. Problem is, those leaves fall starting in October. They just bunch up, bunch up, bunch up to Christmas. We try to work Fridays to get caught up during that time. And, you know, the ones, they both did work at the same time. But this new one, I think it's going to leak in.
That might be an accident.
And asking, let's get by this year with this new one we got and see how we keep up and we'll make that decision.
I feel like, if I can, I feel like we're a little bit scattered. What I'd like to do is kind of start back at the top and give a yes, no, and get through. And if there's something that we can compromise on, then that's great.
I still got questions,
Well, I think when we get there, we'll ask. Okay. So, civic building, replace the awning, yes?
Yes, yes, but what about the awning side also, building department? Just to look like.
That's in windows. I mean, you gave me two quotes, talk about the, what's this one?
Yeah, to look funny with one brand.
Yeah, there's two quotes, and
You just double that price for the rest. $5,000.
Yes, to look
Okay,
silly.
so let's look at, let's do replace awning for $5,000 and I will make it new. Everybody's okay with that? Okay. Development services, economic development, the only thing we have here is the UDO carryover. And we kind of just have to be okay with that. Okay. Moving on. Courthouse, something we have not discussed is upfitting this building for our meetings. When I go back and look at our YouTube channel or whatever we have, can't really hear us well, can't see it, the acoustics aren't great when it comes to hearing everyone. I feel like we maybe need to look at something for that.
so that's something I was gonna mention when we get there, but yes, so you mentioned before, we have $180,000 sticker. We've got another floor of 208 in Holland Street. We have those funds. I've reached out to the state and they said that we can reappropriate those funds as long as it's a downtown building that we own renovations to. But I can't make that determination, you guys have to. So if you want to take the money from that building that we're not going to use, is what I'm gathering, and turn that 180,000 into the courthouse, there you go. All I have to do is send in a new scope of work to the state and say, we want to now use this 180 for courthouse instead of 208.
It's not cost that much to do.
No, that's the thing. So, you know, me and Zach's had those conversations, you know, first the buildings, the offices downstairs, and then outfit this room.
Okay.
We got some issues up here too.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
We need to look at that. I'll play a part.
Okay.
Front of it, the interior looks like it's leaking in there too, because the plaster's all downstairs or something. You see that?
Call
Mr. True
when we redid this building. They did some value engineering because the steps were supposed to go off and come back and prep all that. That contractor came up with some, for lack of a better phrase, story that he could fix. Well,
I wasn't here.
I understand.
And I wasn't in any control at the time. It looks like
Maybe.
So we have that
With-
one.
All you verify, that's been the issue since the police department's.
So that one, maybe we could address all.
You can do this building, if you want to gear it towards the scope to this building, that's all I need to know, I can send it in.
Great.
Okay, great. Moving on.
And I will listen too on the debt stuff, not trying to get you off, but
No.
just as a reminder, I put it under the grants at the very bottom. Just to keep you guys aware that we do get $230,000 balloon payments from South School Apartments. That's December of this year that they owe us at 230. But it is CDBG money, so you only can use that for certain purposes. That money will become, it's community development block grants. You have to use, we can only use that for certain things, but I think it was a 20-year.
Okay. Okay, great. So 180 from that grant. Moving to police. We're good for the 3 Ford Interceptors, 1 exchange. Is that the price still $300, $300,000?
It would drop 30 or 40,000.
3 receptors, 1 exchange, and keep the cheap truck, rather buy it.
So we'll have to buy it.
$5 grand, it's more than that, just sell.
All right, taking out the new world system, moving to fire. Where are you? Okay. What is this? Increase part-time rate to $13.50 to $13.50 per hour.
Let's do Me,
Okay with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay. Pickup truck, what do you wanna do? Question mark it and come back after we figure out what we're gonna do with the rest?
Yeah, question mark.
Okay, great.
the storage.
Thanks, sir. Say it again.
We're going
Yeah, I mean, that's an option. We could always get a storage building, y'all's blessing, put it on the backside of the gym. $10,000, I mean,
You want wire, right?
yes, absolutely.
Can our electricians in the town wire? Why not?
They're not licensed electricians.
Does that have to? You don't have to be a licensed electrician to do town work. Is that not correct?
It's on the customer side of the meter.
So on the customer side of the meter,
I was under a different thing.
They would be the customer, they would be a meter put there, they'd be on the
so this side of the meter, we don't have to.
service to it, but
We don't have to.
all the inside wiring is.
So this side of the meter, so if we want to wire light into this storage building, we got to hire electrician.
I think majority of them now come like pre-wired, where you just throw the meter in.
I would say cut that and come back with a.
Complaint.
Yeah, come back. And
Okay, so cut the mezzanine.
cut the mezzanine, yeah, but
All right,
Come back to something
we
new.
don't know what else costs, we don't know what's.
okay. 2 utility trailers for the antique truck.
Why you need to? You can haul at the same time.
Well, where we can haul two different vehicles if we can.
You only got one truck.
What's the request?
I say we buy one utility trailer. He said he was on the right.
He said, how are you gonna haul the other truck?
Oh, we could use the brush truck for the other than the pickup truck,
We need two trucks.
if that's the route y'all want to go. It'd be nice, but we don't have to make big trips. This picture's not a short drive backwards and forwards. Yeah, the transportation museum. To do it, annual fire.
So one or two,
None.
none.
I think you. Matt. Where you gonna put these utility trailers?
Put the town shed.
Got room? Oh, thanks. I don't have a dog in this spot. No offense to anybody. Let's just do one this year and then do one next. Year. We got a lot. What's y'all want to raise that?
I think one, I like the idea of one, I like the idea of two, but if we can get away with it, do one and then you borrow the brush truck if you need to take it to Spencer, right? If that's okay, do some compromising. Okay, one, everyone is okay with that?
45.
Yes, sir.
So now that you've eliminated that you got a truck that can pull the one trailer, we can be looking at 2024 pickup. That was the reason you needed pickup, correct?
Will that replace the trailblazer that the chief drive? as well as pull the barricade trailer. But what happens if we have emergency, brush truck,
The brush truck is very big control. Fire truck. So what other uses have you got in this truck besides Barry pulling a trailer?
call response for the city chief?
Is this a take-home vehicle?
Yes.
So this is a new vehicle for assistant chief to take home the answer calls out.
Correct.
How many assistant chiefs are?
I mean, in theory, it's it'll be a multi-purpose vehicle.
I reckon we leave the question on that. Haley,
Sorry?
we leave the question on the truck.
Okay. Barricade trailer for town events, that's already approved. The new pumper coming May of 2025, to be financed fiscal year 26, $862,000. I need more,
It's not a big deal.
it's just nothing.
Well, that's just for you guys to know that it's coming this budget year, May. Okay, well, it's-
Okay, we don't need to do anything with that, okay. Street, Billy was kind to share. Parks and Rec, car ball field, 70-30 infield mix, 15-8.
Car and Jagger.
That will cover car and joggers. Gym bleachers and termite prevention, yes. New mower, yes. New building at car, no. For me, for now.
No for me.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Greg, you know on that one? Yeah.
Okay, damn, okay.
They had to make it shit.
All right. Soccer, if in-house, that means it's out of town. Goals and fees, 15,000.
Where are you gonna play that?
Play at Cloninger, we play at multiple locations in Carl
Can
Field.
you really play it like you're really cold or?
It's not bad. I mow that
I
field.
was feeling like something.
I mow that field, Washington, it's not that
So
bad.
you're comfortable with it? What I'm asking
Yes, sir.
you. How many people do you think is on?
In the younger age groups, we've had a lot, ages 4 to 8. Older age groups, not that it's the same, small. But with the way they categorize the age groups in soccer, it's a little bit different from baseball. They go go down, all the way down to ages 3 to 4, and they do 5 to 6, and 7 and 8. So between those 3 age groups, we've had upwards of 5 to 6 teams in each age.
Kind of want to get to play, and with our new developments and people coming in, I think it's a good.
I say, yeah,
Okay, that's all I have, which is.
Yeah, but I don't know, I haven't really been in the infield of climbing the park for since last year at some point. It's still used as a dog walk. It is.
No, well,
There would have to be some sort of enforcement, because that's where a lot of people go. I mean, that'd be so hard, especially with the manpower that we have right now.
I will say that, when I've been over there, my assistant has been over there, doing, getting it ready for. There's not a lot of dog waste around there, so people are pretty good about, because we have those 2 dispensers for dog bags. And my experience in the last couple of weeks of being over there, we haven't had a big problem with dog waste being better.
We can just do for another year, no dog.
I mean, that's a dog, just telling you, we have experience in law. increase this year. May have been that in the past, but so far it's not bad.
I mean, that's something, I think if we're comfortable with it and with the dog waste, you know, that's something that Alex and Matt are, I mean, that's something both of them will have to do. And then if that becomes an issue, bring it to us, Alex, for
I will say this as well, with the younger age groups, the field size for soccer is, that's what we're still on, correct?
yes.
The field size for soccer is a lot smaller, so you can make smaller soccer fields out of one big field, or if, you know, they're not comfortable with Cloniger being used as a field, which I'm comfortable being used as a field. But you can also make smaller fields out of baseball outfields as well to host multiple games at a time. Because during the falls, we don't offer fall baseball right now, those fields are not.
So we do have options.
Yes, sir.
And that'll bring in some revenue as well.
Are you playing ball baseball?
Right, playground mulch. Necessary. So yes, everybody. Okay.
So the playground mulch will go, gym, Jagger Park playground, Connor Park playground.
I went the last 2 years and got done, and we get the number of those, being from here. Everybody else, no umbrella either, frankly.
That's not a bad idea. I don't necessarily know if we need umbrellas, but I think that would be good some shade. I think those, what do you call it, like the canvas, is it?
So, bro.
Yes.
What about this?
Yeah, and they have the canvas type thing, we can look into that.
I'll get up with you if you want to kind of show me what you're talking about. Something like that. Another thing with the gym is they want to put in ADA accessibility, playground at the gym. They also, there's been a problem with wash, that they feel like by putting an extra barrier on the side that's closest to the street, will prevent a lot of that mulch that's put in from being washed out. It's a problem recently with the grading next to the gym being so bad that every time they put the mulch out, it just washes out. And sits on the top. Part of that quote is to fix that grading problem next to the.
I'm just gonna write down here, Mr. Blackburn, did you write under the Parks and Rec for the umbrellas? Alright, moving to solid waste trash cans for future development, 26 grand.
That's just like, you transfer. They buy them.
That's a need with offset revenue, so it's a launch.
So it's just in there, okay. Rear loader trash truck.
How old the trash truck?
2007, 2009, I got a 2018. That is 3. Actually, I have 4. But with the new trash truck, I'll spend a lot less on maintenance. I don't get a new trash truck, need up my maintenance for next year.
It doesn't mean.
Well, I mean, I can get by another year. I mean, it's just gonna take.
What's the last thing you got there?
18, yeah, I got a little small one. It doesn't do the job I need it to do. I could sell that on the gov deal and help.
So, we'll do our first development study.
Talking to Nolan Friday, they're grubbing at Little Oak Creek now for phase 1. They're getting the trees taken down there. We have a meeting Thursday for Dallas Messenger and Sunny Creek. I'm trying to get a contact.
So in the next year, we're gonna be picking up one.
200 right now.
No, it'll take a year to get it filled in before he has to deal with the trash. Davis Hills will be almost 100 houses by the end of the year next year. Rose,
Davis Hill, completed.
Davis Hills right now, there's 20, 30. They'll be at 100 out of 115. Rosewood Village will be really close to complete. And River Rock will be complete by then.
I say we buy the trash truck and sell the one we don't need on gov deal.
And kind of opposite. Sell and buy.
You won't buy,
After we sell.
the one you sell, then you get $50,000.
Maybe not, but it'll at least offset it some, right?
I mean, we put it on gov deal.
You can, but you're not guaranteed what you're gonna make. You can put
But
an action.
I really would not like to sell it in case I need it in emergency until I get a new truck.
You tell me that.
That
We want to serve the area. Keep trying to hope we don't have to start picking up trash again. Any more trash people you want?
Sir,
Any more trash people you want? People that run the trash.
we can get by with what we got. We just gonna have to pick up another day. When a development comes along, we'll just add an extra trash. We'll only pick up trash 3 days a week. We'll just add extra trash. I'm not selling it.
No,
Do we need to move forward with the truck?
I say we move forward with the truck.
Moving forward with it. Water sewer infrastructure, Dallas Stanley Pump Station, clear, that's kind of a wash, isn't it? Okay,
Nothing you can do with that.
I wrote down here something, architect, 30 to 50,000, is that anything we need to look into?
No, I have, it's in the budget, but that's for architect for the warehouse.
Oh, okay, so that, we don't have to discuss that. Okay.
Unless you guys don't want it in the budget.
Water treatment plant, backup river pump.
Just backup replacement pumps, just in case one of my pumps goes down.
what happened?
Well, if I got one, I'm okay, but if both of them could be,
We only got 2 now.
I'll order those pumps. Like 3 years right now, huh?
We were doing one about 2 years ago, probably once 5 years.
You haven't seen you on, what those pumps are, we hear about them.
Well,
Field.
Steel.
This is water, that's not wastewater. This is
Get me the other side, this is getting, this is bringing it to the
This is brand, it's right. How long does it take to get these pumps?
8 to 12 weeks.
I think we scratched that one. For now, if it comes down to it. Thoughts?
I'm good with that.
One pump will do the job, you just alternate them.
All right, so scratch the first one, Kim track. Let's say this. I'm messing up.
That's lab equipment to help my lab deal with changing our call. I've got a younger staff, less experience, technology, what was that gap?
What about the C-117s?
That's replacement of online information. And those are probably 10 to 15 years old.
And then the building for storage. Building for storage.
Where are you storing it?
Inside what I have, wherever I can put it.
You said that C-117 is what?
That's multiple units. That's like 4 CSO. And it's for chlorine elements is what it is.
That sounds necessary.
I'm just trying to think if it was more important than the backup.
I would say yes. I'm not sure that was sales.
I personally like the middle two for the Kim track and the C-117s. Simply like you said, for future generations that would come and close that gap if necessary.
Can you deal with costs,
I can do that.
not so structural?
Straight storage, keep the middle two. Wastewater treatment plant, the screw press, question on this, I've heard a lot about it. With the money that we were just granted, we use that, I know it hasn't been officially given, the other one.
That's all, we how they stipulate those things. If they allocate it just to that one project, then we'll have to use it all.
To what one project though, because wasn't it, what was it, Mr. Blackburn, it was water?
The one from Congressman Jeff Jackson,
Yeah.
it was for the old line water replacement, water line replacement.
It was stipulated in the grant.
Okay,
You pretty well have to follow it to the T or give it to an act of Congress for any amendments or changes to.
and so that has nothing to do with, that's what I'm saying, is there any correlation to that project in this? That's all.
Me and Red don't know what screw press is. Alright, screw press takes the solids that's in sewer, squeezes the moisture out, and comes out as a cake. You put it in the back of the truck and take it to the lane. Okay. Right now, we're taking our waste, when it gets in its most solid form, it's about, probably got 50% water, and we take it to fields and cows it. How much do we get per tank that we let them cows eat? They won't eat it like that, they'll eat it on the first, what they use it for is fertilizer, cows don't eat it.
Oh.
They use it, the cows eat the grass that comes up that they fertilize. And it is getting terribly hard.
Vegetarian.
Yeah.
Well, right now, we have to go to, up around Troutman for a field. Is your city gas company is taking all the fields around here? They've contracted on us all, farmers and years. Next group plus
Any way we can do that?
We don't have a tractor trailer, we have a tanker. And we only budget, we budget about $60,000 a year. It's about $11,000 to $13,000 every time they come. Depending on the flow of the town and the weather, all that plays a part.
Weather has a big impact.
Weather has a big impact. And this screw press, what we'll be able to do is take the solids out, put the water back in the sewer, take the cake, put it in the back of the truck, take it to the landfill. We'll just have an old truck sitting there, fill it up, take it to the landfill, and get full.
So it's increasing or enhancing efficiency through y'all's line of work or?
Oh, most certainly, doing efficiency. And actually, Zach can use it to water.
That's my use.
Is there a way, is there something that we have to have right this moment to agree on, or is there a way that we can maybe get grants to get that covered? Is that something that you guys will be okay with us looking at? Just moving forward with it? Thoughts? None?
Put in question mark aside.
Okay. What do you think?
I think it's a pretty important piece of work.
I think so too. But I think if we can find somewhere else and work diligently to find that instead of us having to pay for it. Because there's money out there that can cover that. We just have to be aggressive and get it. So it's time to buckle up. Okay. So electric, transformer arresters.
On that one, we'll take that one out. With all the underground work that we've had, we've not had time to dedicate to phase one. And I don't see that letting up in the future. So we can take that one off.
All right, UG transformers, those are the ones you said we need for backup.
I think that's probably must.
Must, yes.
Try to stay ahead of the curve and stay caught up with customers.
Okay. Yes, along with the primary reels. Right, so those go together. Bucket truck replacement. I mean, people are getting stuck.
Don't have to.
What truck is that?
Figure it. That's, one come with the line truck,
Don't have to.
like, tank truck.
Is it a spare truck or?
No, it's a market truck every day.
Is it your truck?
I'm kind of on this one, the same way we talked about. What did we talk about? One of the other trucks, anywho, but selling that truck. I think we maybe go ahead with that one, system for it.
We actually talked about selling them that, but we
Yeah.
also need a backup truck.
Right, so I think we go ahead and buy that one, because that's a priority, people are getting stuck in it. And then we sell the other one, once the new one comes in.
He just told me he needs the backup.
I thought he said he was gonna sell it.
Well, we talked about getting rid of it, and we also talked about keeping it used as a spare truck.
Just in case somebody wants to take off work,
You want
just in case somebody wants to take off work, they get stuck.
What about on
now, we do have a 36 that we get to the market. The old truck. We put that on there here.
But it's operation.
Yeah, it's most operation.
Operation, how many times, someone gets stuck in the bucket?
And the little one,
The one that we're talking about, the place.
it's been, in the past year, it's been 4
times last year.
Yeah.
And it's been used every day.
How hard is it to fix it when you get
The
stuck?
problem is you can't get a travel mechanic. So by state law, a normal mechanic cannot work on them trucks. They have to be a certified mechanic
To work on.
or work on any type of high volume.
And there's no certified mechanic?
The closest one we have is what?
Town agreement.
China Road. It normally takes.
That's out.
That's out there.
T-Rex is in charge. Let's say with them.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, buy the new truck. All right, so buy the new truck and then make a decision on one of the other ones that you want to keep and sell.
And the mapping and pole inventory, we didn't talk about that earlier. That one has revenue potential.
Okay,
It has a potential bringing in about $47,000 a year if you base the number of poles on all system averages. Right now, AT&T only has 109 or 115 poles that they pay us to hold them. So that would be 50-50 ownership. Most places, it's 90-10. 80. Here, I'm gonna say it's 70. That's the most. So there's no way, you're looking at gaining at $1,750 each. About $17,000 a year revenue off of AT&T
I think it's.
$40,000.
$40,000.
Yeah, I can take it out. I like the idea. I think it's wonderful, but when we're trying to, like Sam said, when we're trying to cut $4 million, it's a chunk we can
What
tell.
we're working on right here is a new position. Are they together, 4 million, we're trying to say?
New positions are not in 4 million.
Okay,
So you're 3.6 short, if you add 450 to it, you're at 4 million, yes.
that's 4 million.
Give or take.
And look, you got to the ball.
No.
Of the 100,000.
So all these new numbers here add $3.5 million.
That's what the department needs.
No, that's just additional capital infrastructure, bigger needs. But if you don't, I have the entire budget, I can give you, that makes it all this, with your salaries, all your operational costs, all that stuff. It's not just these items, it's like 3.5, these are just big items. That wasn't in prior year's budget. New items.
All right, let's get through this page first. Mapping and pole inventory out. Spare generator out. Lock rigging kit. Lock rigging kit.
That is for the bucket rescue, that's the thing they come out with, is safer. That's for like bucket rescue, letting, if somebody's hurting the bucket, you let them out, it works on the pole, it's a rigging item, and that would be, one for all of us.
That's will be maintenance, and it will be mandatory
When?
for, what do you say? Is it next year?
I ain't heard of that.
Does the fire department not have some?
There's not, that'll be, bucket rescue and pole top rescue is on us.
Really?
They're not gonna be, yeah, we would be the ones doing that, that would be the fire department.
Not bring that fast, but do you remember the team staff that got elected use?
So. Is this possible that y'all non-trained EMS workers are gonna be getting somebody to elect you guys?
Once a year, we have.
They're not trying to do that. I mean, yeah, you can be energized, but that's time that, our job is to get them to the ground safe. That's what this is for, is to get them down the ground where they can be treated. The transportation safely.
I say we move forward with it.
Go with it.
Okay. Mr. Blackburn, where do we need to go now to look at? How about next year?
Well, I think, as Jonathan said, we've addressed the big ticket items. Let the staff go back, and Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong. Let staff go back, plug in these numbers, and then when we come back in April, there may be some tweaks that we may have to do. We may have to even tweak some of these that you've got the question marks by. But we'll have as close, if not a balanced budget, to you in the April work session.
We need to talk about,
But we do need to talk about.
We'll talk about rates and personnel. That's what the biggest thing is. We keep the 8 in there requested, and also, are you okay with the 5% water increase, 3% electric increase, $2 trash increase? If so,
alright,
the work numbers come back in April.
so right now we need 3 street departments.
What was the plan?
That's what we want.
And actually, I think you mentioned that.
Oh, yeah.
Where are
Page number 3.
we? Additional positions requested? Okay. Okay. 3 street department maintenance workers. Can we take it down to 2?
We have to get to
Everyone's okay with that?
Get down to civilian.
Thank you.
Probably, can that be a part-time worker?
It could be for a while, when, somebody. Also, transition of evidence and records as far as revenue, which comes off.
Thing with that, I mean, if we could make that civilian employee part-time, we've also discussed the ordinance. Thank you, code enforcement, that's part-time. Sometimes I think that maybe needs to be full-time, or he needs some help to keep up. So if we made this civilian employee part-time, doing, Robbie, whatever you need them to do, but also helping code enforcement and assistant, that would be good, but still a part-time position.
Mayor, I don't think that much we can make that work, because he's gonna have to say on Mondays, and Wednesdays, and Thursdays, or Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, come up here, they're part-time. Between 8 and 12, and pick up at 4. Is that right?
If done part-time, stretch it out and give you a part-time. With 6 hour day, so it would be 9 to 3.
Now the 3 to do all 5 days.
You've done it, I think all say part-time at 30 hours. Right now, my part-time employee is on.
So if you publish to the public, they come, what I'm getting at, nobody's at that door.
They walk in,
There's someone that,
yeah, they come in, somebody's out.
so you're gonna close the police department.
No, the door will still be open. It's just what would happen if it were a full-time person. It's about an hour or 2 in the morning, if it was open, let's say if that person come in at 10, and I would have to have my administrative assistant on the front door for the first hour or 2. To end when she could do, but I should have to work the holiday, because I still have to. She goes, it's back, the CJ is, now she's got point of contact with Apex, so I would come and say. But no, the door would never be closed, not closed.
What else?
It's a part-time 30 hours.
I don't think they can do that.
I don't think you'll be able to do code, that person can get it.
They would not, it's just a suggestion.
That, you need one person in the water and one person in the sewer.
That's water sewer, that's approved.
I don't like talking to you. You don't have to. So, one person water, one person sewer, they do it all. Both people will do it all. We don't separate water and sewer in distribution and collections. It's only separated in treatment. And it's mainly for right-of-way cutting and things like that. Can you take it one? Yes, sir. You need to.
Do you need one? Do you need one or want one? Sorry.
You're asking here. We get behind on a lot of things. Right now, as of Thursday, I'll be doing all parts. It's tough finding people. Come to work. And that's what I'm up against. Anybody I can get put out on the right of way, because I've got several that have it. They need to be bush hogged, and they need to be cleaned up. And the state, in fact, we just had an inspection today. Some different things are going to have to start at this year. We're doing what we can with what we got, but we're following.
They're neat.
I mean, put it in position. I can get by with it.
All right,
If I get my whole full crew back, I can get by with it.
Well, that's
I'll ask for one next year.
That's kind of where I'm leaning toward. If we could just get fully staffed, we could address a lot of this, right? Just getting employees. And just talking with Sonny and Willie, they can also help with cutting right of ways. They said they've cut sewer right of ways too in the past. So,
Okay.
so this team approach might help with, cutting some positions that's been asked for. And I say that respectfully, Bill, and Willie, Sonny, partnership representative.
Yeah, teamwork is definitely, the-
Some of the manpower in other departments.
yeah, that's the idea. Realistically, in my mind, but
That's kind of where I'm at with the police department, asking for another position. As the sheriff just made mention earlier, there's a lot of subdivisions coming home in the past year to 18 months, but we're not going to see any proceeds from that for another year
right.
at the earliest. It's probably going to be more like September, a year from now, 18 months from now. So that being said, and all of these are coming out of like the police department. If we can get fully staffed in the police department, we can address a lot of the issues. And we had a discussion earlier, Sheriff, you will recall today, about some of the staffing possibilities. So
What I'm hearing is essentially work with what we have, fully staff ourselves instead of asking for more.
I would make that recommendation for consideration, but these are the people that work in the field.
And I know the idea of having more people is great, but if we put it in the budget and you already don't have the staff, then it almost feels like money that's money.
Setting.
It's just sitting there, yeah. So I'd almost rather just take out,
All of it except that part-time civilian employee, that we need. And the assistant manager, that Mr. Conley mentioned.
We need to talk about the engineer's spot.
Well, that's sort of been too, I do get it, we don't know what those guys need, when we have vacancies in all those departments, but then we're at a position.
I'm gonna speak to I can see, we have to cut one out of whatever out of the two. Yeah, I really could utilize that, I'm seeing. The police position, I have to do what needs to do. Readdress this next budget year, may come back next budget year, one option.
perhaps,
Well, people have all this building going on, there's a big stealing left and right. You're gonna, the man doesn't start half the issue, the man start.
well, that's the case, but we're not staffed,
Company develops to get staff.
yeah, we're not fully staffed, so
He's got four in the pocket. He's got four. He may be fully staffed by the end of next month. You got, these people will plan their whole next year, on the number of people that die. So, just like I dealt with this, manager says, oh, you got 10 openings, you don't need a new position. You understand the work. I don't understand the work of some of these people. So, if on July 1, Billy gets fully staffed, police department gets fully staffed, and the water department gets fully staffed, y'all have fully staffed down there. Yeah, they're. Sewer. Y'all get confused.
Operations. I'll call it.
Distribution and collection. Water, they're two different areas, two different. So July 5th, and not full people. they still have a demand for these people they need.
We not do a budget amendment at that point and create a position?
Budget amendment.
Yeah, you never budget for the one is like,
I always did a budget amendment, like I said, yeah.
Right.
So,
I'd like to cut it.
so this board right now is saying they're committed that if fire departments are fully or almost fully manpower, that we will gladly approve these positions because we all agree they're needed. We just gonna wait.
Need it.
So in August, he said he needs a cop, we're gonna give it to him, not raise.
I'm not agreeing, no.
Do what?
I'm gonna be off this week.
Which one do you think we don't need?
My opinion, we need police officer, we need civilian, we need lineman. Go, he told me he's short, and once he gets hooked up, he gets pointed out, he goes.
And so once against what I've said. I know I'm in favor of come back and August, regular people, we give them people.
You got one well like him, so
No, no, that's what I'm saying. But how do you guys-
I don't know if, I think it's hard to say, Alan, that we agree to it right this moment because it's circumstantial.
There's no point in telling us that any new position, because that is.
Right.
I'm just saying,
That's why I think we're really all saying the same thing. These are not necessary items that we need right now, so we scratch them. They're great ideas, but we scratch these for now, and as they are necessary, you come back to us and make that request.
Right, I say don't have the new employees until you got that.
Agreed. Get close until they see that they're gonna need more, because we are gonna grow. We are definitely going to grow. And they're going to need, but right now the need is not there. And if we put this money aside and then nobody's hired, it's still just sitting there, then what? We do a budget amendment and say, oh, never mind, we're taking these positions. So we're,
sitting there like, yeah.
It's not the issue of it sitting there as much as finding the revenue to cover.
correct.
That's the problem every municipality, every state's dealing with.
All right, well, what do you wanna do? Scratch these for now. I'd like to make a decision on these.
Good, office board, we only staff to go with.
I do think we need to keep the assistant manager position.
And the clerk part.
Clerk's already in there, but I do think we need to keep the assistant manager position. Okay,
Mayor,
yes,
assistant manager's position, I would leave that up to whoever the full-time manager is to work with you as a board to establish the parameters of that assistant manager if you go in that direction. I just think it's a little premature.
I agree with that.
My perspective, put that in, or you need the input of the full-time manager at that point, I believe. Take away your powers.
Another one, maybe, the six,
I'm sorry.
we're trying to say it any time.
I know I don't get a vote. But, well, what are your thoughts on scratch all of them? Scratching all of them, yes. Okay, Sam?
Yeah, I'm gonna be for the position that's needed. If they come back and they, vote for you.
Okay.
Make it work.
No,
We are putting staff to probably wait on these as they are needed.
okay. Alan?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, Fred? All right, scratch it.
There's one right here that's not added. Well, I guess that.
I got a position right here.
We're fully staffed, and the reason I'm asking is that's a trainee position. It's 5 to 7 year bridge program. Trying to get that clock started in the big
What is that?
Been with y'all.
When you say the apprentice, what is that?
No. Hire somebody completely green off the street. And it takes 5 to 7 years to get training and get through the courses to learn to be almost the first place.
Right, do that, pound out space, to go to all these courses and stuff, get my 7 years in, and I go, that's the best thing to do. We got any recourse?
True.
We not ask somebody to sign.
I don't know.
In law enforcement. He just asked the same thing we talked about. Training somebody and then they leave us.
And that's happened.
Oh, I know.
And I don't know how, like a non-compete would be. I'm not familiar with what the police side, but what does theirs say? That they can't go to any other agency or an agency within the district?
Money we spend.
Kind of like what we do on the city.
Well, training and all that.
Is that enforceable?
Contract. I'm for
That's what I'm asking. But no, that's why I wanted to get that started. That's all
research.
conversation.
I like the idea of doing apprenticeship. But that's the way we can fight someone to do this job. That she'll off that way from for they need 7 years work. Somebody.
Sam made a good point. I think we do some more research on it and
So
then come back.
that's the same thing we're dealing with right now.
Yes.
We're paying these guys to come here and work. They're here 5 to 6 years. As soon as they get their journeyman certificate, they go.
So it's something we need to look into.
We can,
All right.
what about the engineer position? Do we, y'all ever look at that, see if engineers are out there?
We haven't advertised that position, and it's just kind of word of mouth, Sheriff, that to get a qualified engineer, you see what the salaries are right now, we talked
What's
about
the
that.
city manager?
So,
I hate to guess wrong, but between 175 to 2.
Is that something we can look into?
yes.
Just while you guys reevaluate, do you mind? Is that okay for everybody just to look at? Okay.
Internal engineer.
I'm sorry.
Internal engineer, what?
But
Okay. What's next, Mr. Blackman?
Jonathan, I think that, every other.
yeah, the tax rate and sewer rate.
Water, electric rates, and sanitation, if you guys are.
So I would say look into. Say fire. What, Earl's figured out. You know much about that, Earl?
I know a little bit about what we do.
I mean, did the town look at the fire tax now cost us? Would that money go straight to town or?
So we actually inquired about that several years ago with the previous administration. There was a little bit of research done about that, to what extent, I'm not sure. The question was, if the town of Dallas implemented the fire tax rate, would that money go directly to the fire department? Or would that go to the general fund, and then that would help supplement the budget that we already have? That question was never answered. If it was, I don't remember the answer.
I personally think it would go to general fund and then just.
Then that really would be classified as fire tax, if it went straight to the fund. Fire tax should go directly to the fire department to supplement their budget.
So how do you do that? What would be the solution to that?
Well, I think Mr. Blackburn probably have more information than me. However, we could, call around those municipalities and see how they do.
Most of the rural fire departments have a tax rate, the fire tax rate,
Our district,
fire district, yes.
established fire district, Gaston County's covered by fire district. There's probably 17, maybe 30,
There's 23 fire departments and there's like 11 municipalities. You're looking at about 14, maybe. I know my math is off a little bit, but some of those departments are now under the county and they went away from their municipalities.
The town I worked in before, out of Louisville, they had a fire district. That, in a certain area, but they also, as part of the property taxes, inside the corporate limits, went to supplement the fire. Yes, Gatlin County is set up a fire district. I don't think it would require local legislation or general assembly law. I need to think about that because, you know, you've got 42 cents on the 100. And to adequately fund the fire department, or you can put 7 cents, 10 cents. Just have to figure out what that amount is. And there's a lot of variables that goes into it, one of which is political. It's and when I say political, it's the voice of the people.
If you do a tax, essentially fire department, then how would that pay for the fire department? We don't pay for how would do
Property taxes.
So now you're saying, well, I don't think you do a fire. If the fire department needs 7 cents of tax, and I'll be saying, fire tax. Also, Earl, none of our district is outside the city, correct?
That is correct. Everybody's a degree size.
Most of the fire tax for rural fire department. Like in Lowell, y'all have the city of Lowell, but you also have city parts of Swell, that's right. So you were out in the camp.
Yes, sir.
We don't have it.
That's it.
We gotta figure out. I would like to hear from you. We ask this question, I reckon, Sarah. Do we ever do a pie chart showing the people in town where our revenue comes from, how much is that, where our expenditures go to?
Yeah, we have one called strategic planning.
No, I'm talking here.
Did we not do it with the budget, do a pie chart where you got your property tax?
Yeah, that's usually in the budget ordinance when we present it in June.
But it is something that's, we need to be able to, because they can understand. 42 cent rate right now. 7% goes to fire department, 12% to police department. So much to water and sewer, for your tax. Oh.
That should be part of the budget. Final budget that goes out. Well, then revenues and expenditures.
Do you have something to say?
Well, according to this, $48,300. That gets us $338,100 for a 7-cent increase on the tax. Does that cover the fire department?
No.
So.
I haven't said to cover the whole thing. Everything keeps up. I mean, I think it's all the way out wrong. I mean, also, you know, it don't, I mean, you gotta have it. I'd have to.
The fire tax, as you're buying it, it's no different than we turn the sanitation into an enterprise fund. It's just different verbiage. You're paying a higher fee, whereas you'd be paying a higher tax. Or you make it self-support.
If I'm vague, John, on that, what we talked about, the base charges, that kind of thing.
Okay, well, I mean, that's a 3% rate. But we don't have a base charge.
Jonathan and Willie, discussion, I think that would be really beneficial to the board right now. Because if you look at our revenue projections, staff has already put a 3% increase in the electric rate, but Willie has talked with us in the past about this basic rate. Willie would do, just inform the board what you found and something about.
Base electric rate, that's common in any fields. If you're on the Duke system, it's right at $14. So if you turn your main breaker off in the house, you're likely to be $14. Right now, our current charges surrounding areas to the south is 20. North co-ops 24. We're at 10. I think it's 3,200 customers will be affected by it. Should get us in line with our neighbors to the south.
Who's to decide? Who are you talking about?
Yes, I mean,
I guess.
we can raise this budget year, $5, and the next 2 years, raise $2.50 on the base charge. That'll be over 3 years, we get to $20 a month base charge number. The first year would be, we would have a potential of getting one done, I can't remember the exact.
16,000 per month, $100 cents.
But basically,
Okay, now let me ask you this, what does that look like on my power bill?
So if I-
So it's just gonna be a base rate, if my power bill's $200 pretty regularly. And it's just gonna always be 205, or if it's 197, it's gonna be, what is this math, 202.
raise $5.
Here's where it really becomes beneficial to the town. You raise that base rate about $5, and if you talk about every $200,000 a year, you're getting that money. Whereas if you raise your electric rate by 3%, and somebody cuts their consumption by 3%, you're.
Right, that's where I was confused, I was thinking about that.
You've got control of your thermostat. You can control how much usage you get.
Well, I was thinking about that the other night, simply because we had a 3% rate increase, and so I thought, oh, and usually keep my lights on, so I thought, oh, I'll turn my lights off, but then that affects the town. Where with this, that would have created a base. But what's our delivery on that? And what happens to this 3% rate increase that we just had?
Station.
So they worry about, they put it, DMC, they got, no, I'm winning. Our rates went from 20 to 24. Our after hour reconings move from here to here. I know it's not.
No, that's okay.
Good. That's the way they do it, I mean, it's.
Yeah, you can get the word.
So instead of, what I'm hearing is, instead of this 3% rate increase, we change it to the base. Sorry,
I think we got, that's the way. We're already 17%.
Somebody sitting there, there's a meter sitting over, you should go and see, it, and it looks for 20-something years, I seen it, and I was driving the other day. They're gonna pay the $10 now, $15.
so we're gonna have a 6% increase over the past 2 years. I know that might not seem a lot, like a lot.
17%, I mean, 17% for years.
We're behind.
Purchase power.
We're just, that's what I'm asking. When was the base rate set, first set? When did this $10 move? 10 years ago?
I would say. That was probably back in the last increase, was that 12 years ago?
See, that's,
Probably was addressed then,
that's what I was just,
not touched.
going to bring up, is the fact that we have not had that real increase here in the town of Dallas for 13 years. Yeah, and where we're at now, with the budget, our proposed tax rate, et cetera, and all these things we have in the budget that we need, want, and we got to have in order to go into the future. Something has got to, money has to come from somewhere. The citizens of the town are really going to have to understand that as well.
I just know
You
that
know, we cannot, you can't operate your household. You know, with the rate that products are getting us nowadays, you go to the grocery store, to the gas station, where you go, the rates are increasing.
and the town's essentially taking on that rate, right? Or
Yeah,
the
because
fee.
you're not increasing, you're not increasing the new essentially. Look bad, too, so. It's due time, and even the auditors, they gave the presentation, I'm not sure. if you-
I was there, yeah.
They even mentioned it, they just look at raw numbers, they don't even know what it is.
I just know that it's gonna create an uproar, but something I think I do believe that it's necessary, but we have to do a good job. I just think about it as a spokesperson, we have to do a good job at delivering this message and a reason, because people are not gonna be happy with it. But it is necessary.
I agree with you, even with, if you get on every outlet that there is, social media, television, whatever, put it out there, you still want to get that.
You're gonna get it, yeah.
You still want to come back. But hey, we want nice sidewalks, we want variety, we want, all the amenities within the town. The money has to come from somewhere for us to pay for that.
So this
So what I'm-
tax rate, what are we? $5 a year?
It's 10, let's go up 5 to 15, right?
So 15 for a base rate.
You have a 3-year plan. 3 years to get to the $20 number.
I'm good on a 20-year. 10-year plan, 250 each year.
Thanks, I got in there, like,
They'll be, then those people be encouraged to hear this. I'm just saying, we just did 3%. Passport did.
I would say this was all brought, for the last 2 years, we've discussed this too, that we can't survive much longer our rates. And it's been ignored, out in the times, we've got to.
So, will add a year first.
We're gonna have to cut a lot more. Well, we're gonna have to cut a lot more out of the electric, and so, buying the infrastructure, transformers, all that, and then we say, sorry, developers, you can't buy this right now, you're gonna have to cut it to do it. Is that 3% bring in a lot of money, to cover those transformers, maybe?
No, I'm leaving the 3%. I'm talking about the
Base
base
rate.
rate.
I think it's needed.
I agree with base rate, but
You could go to
250, that's not.
You can do 250 instead of 5, that'll be what, 100, let's cut it in half.
$90,000.
90.
Oh, you're saying,
He's saying 250
I
at
thought you
a
were
time.
saying, give it 10 years to get.
$2.50.
This year, 250
I
next year.
misunderstood you.
Next year.
I'm happy with that. I'm not unhappy with the $5 immediate and going, but I think it would be a little more gradual and easier for the 250
250 for much.
for the
And
next.
to help maintain the level of transfer out,
I'm sorry,
to help maintain the level of transfer out of electric. And to be able to fund electric, that's why I'm brought up.
do you think 250 would be? I mean, I guess it's gonna,
I mean, like I say,
That's the deal.
I'm just giving y'all information.
Can I add just one quick thing real fast? Keep in mind that your fire department is also a volunteer fire department. When they do an excellent job. Every call we go on, we put 9 people on the scene. But every other department here is a paid department. They have paid employees. We have one paid employee that works 7 days a week. Our guys and girls do a fantastic job. So I don't want to go away from that. But keep in mind that we are a volunteer fire department. And I was asked by a couple board members, if we started to drop below our numbers where we should be, I would need to come back before the board. And I hope that's 10 years down the road, but I just wanted to keep that in front of you.
Thank you.
Well, we gave you part-time rate. We gave him $1.
Good. Good. And also, while we're at it, just real briefly, Gaston County, we're not Gaston County. In Gaston County, their rate is going to $20 an hour for firemen to be in the fire station. Gaston County's gonna fund every rural fire department in the county, 2 people, every day and every night. They're going $20 an hour. And our guys and girls are tickled to death to make what they're making right now. That's why I wanted to increase at least
The county's
$1.
taking the fire,
I'm sorry?
the county's taking everybody's fire tax.
So last year, Gaston County introduced a thing to all the fire departments, even the municipalities, where we could sign on to Gaston County, but we would have to relinquish our command and our fire department to Gaston County. They would manage all that, and then we would get 10.5 cent tax rates. But the whole fire department would be relinquished to Gaston County. We did not want that to occur. We did not want to give up command and control of our fire department here. So a lot of, all of your rural fire departments are under Gaston County because they're on the tax rate. A couple of municipalities actually signed on with Gaston County, Lowell being one of them. So Lowell has relinquished their fire department to Gaston County, but if you talk to their fire chief today, that was the biggest mistake I think that fire department has ever made.
Okay. So we did electric.
Electric will get it 3%, keep getting base rate this year, right? Water and sewer rate, 5% increase.
Yes, sir.
What's that gonna get the people?
Around 250, the water and 250%.
From their return to that, they'll see the grass cut better, the leaves picked up better.
Also, they'll see their water, sewer, and water treatment, wastewater treatment do a better job and be able to expand in 4 or 5 years.
To meet the state requirements.
To meet the state requirements.
So explain
Well,
that.
I don't want to say I'm not kidding about this, but in 5 years, we're gonna have to do some.
What we went.
We're gonna have to expand our plant with all the growth we got going. And you're talking 7 million, 11 million. To go up 1 million gallons. We've got the revenues to support that kind of a thing.
So this,
You can't pay for it all at once.
this increase will help us in the future.
Yes, it will.
So the people are gonna get better water and sewer service.
We're gonna be able to grow our water. Service has always been good.
You say grow, you're talking about making more capacity. Most people
More
want that.
capacity for this thing.
That's what I want to do. I'm good at 5%. Red, you good at that? Red's good.
$10 extra. I'm saying on my monthly bill,
Average, she's asking average, everybody.
with electric and water, sewer, how much is that increasing?
One person.
For one person.
Especially Bill, I'll let you
Okay.
know.
5%. Yeah. All right, sanitation.
What we like, paperwork in right now, 16.
16 residential, 18 commercial.
We go up last year. Right now, $16, we're probably looking at about $40,000 to $100,000 this. On trash can, on trash. Trash or trash? Solid waste, which includes the brush pickup, the bulk pickup. So you're going up, so what you're saying to us, is you're gonna charge $2 more to pick up your trash and get it to the land. Right. Yes, and we're talking, and it will subsidize that where you will not have to rely, the general fund will not have to rely as much. It's not going to get us to break even, but you will not have to rely on the electric department so much in the general fund. It's something that everybody understands is what we don't dump at the county landfill for free. We do not. It's $28 a ton. And sometimes the special stuff is $52. What is a monthly bill to Gaston County to dump trash out there? It feels about $7,000.
It's 7,000 to 9,000 each month.
Every month. That's over $100,000 a year. Well, I think we budgeted $108,000 for it. We're pushing it pretty much.
So agreed for $2?
I will.
Yes. Okay. All right, late fee service charge. Recommended to go to $9 for late fee and $40 for cutoff. I mean.
I'll go $6 late fee, $40 cutoff.
It is.
It is
$6.
No, it is.
Okay.
I added 40 to it on the cutoff. My notes were 60-30.
That's what we currently are.
Yeah. I'll say 64. Oh, I heard Mayor say, what about those four folks who are just a few days behind getting there? Why punish? But when they've had the whole month to get their bill taken care of, that's not. That's the way I look at it.
Well, the way that I came up with those numbers is the late fee revenue is water only revenue, is water fund. Service charge goes into electric. fund. Because when we go cut off, most time we cut electric, we're not cutting water. But those numbers average monthly come in about the same. So if you have one, then you have a gap. That's what I came up with. I'm buying $6 a quart. Well,
6 and 40, everybody else okay?
So 640.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Potter.
all right, go back and put some things together and come back and have some more suggestions.
Like, I would regret this water AI, if I need. That first one, we've got the money for to do, it just hasn't started. That's what I asked earlier about. Right. When the water AI, identified needs, the first one, replace water line, let's try, we've got the money to do that, we just ain't started. We haven't received the money yet, it comes from the federal government.
Let go of paperwork for the.
Yeah, but but we got.
We've been approved.
What about the other two? Do we have grant opinion on those two at all? Or is that something we can try again this year to try to get one of those taken care of? And well, that takes $2 million.
All right. The last thing. That's what to do with budget and reason and all of this. The last thing I had was a request to use the Dallas gym from Ms. Sutler at Stanley Middle School. Gaston County Schools wants to use the gym or a facility in Dallas to host their, late school enrollment. And other municipalities are doing that. They just have to make sure that it comes before the board, to do that. Gaston County Schools will have a bus, and staff to run the enrollment, but they just want somewhere to do that in Dallas.
How many people will they talk about?
Ah.
Would that be bad for the deals? We just been on the board.
It depends on what's going to be on the for tables, chairs, I don't think if we put something down, let's go. Yeah, they've done, the back giveaways and stuff like that.
What about the cities?
We can use the Civic Center too. They just wanted to use somewhere in Dallas. But I think it would be a really good way for us to advertise, the gym and the new gym as well. We're looking, Chief Balls spoke to some of the principals as well, and they were saying about 20 to 30 people. So,
That's usually what they said, the people on that day, or people less parents, that's usually what it's that. A huge crowd.
You had it for about 20.
Yes, sir. I just want to bring up that there's a fee schedule for
Yeah, all of this marker line.
Still,
Yeah, I'm on.
But as I recall, everyone exists between Gaston County Schools and Concord.
as far as the fee,
Yes,
we would try to be.
They're not weak.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I
I think we need to look.
Well, now, we paid an application fee. That goes, that's what we get, I guess, school. Facility, because Judge Friday doesn't handle the rental facility, Gaston County Schools.
But we didn't pay rent or. We should have.
custodian.
Yeah.
This is the one time, that's why. I stated on the fee schedule. I'm good.
There's nothing to be approved on right now. I just wanted to make you guys aware that in July, the Gaston County Schools would like to use one of our facilities. You need to make a motion.
Well, you got a board action. Have a board. It says request the board action. I don't know what it means.
I was just looking to see if you guys had any changes.
The fee schedule, we'll talk about it.
We have a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor? So carried. We, I did that. You didn't hear. He said, "My chair."